this committee.
My name is Isaac Yao Opoku, MP for Offenso South and a member of this committee.
Hello, good morning. My name is Akwesi Kunedu, the Member of Parliament for Menchia North and a member of this committee.
Good morning. I'm Dakwa Newman, the Member of Parliament for Kankwe South and a member of the committee.
Chairman, good morning. Roxanne Nelson Naiche Dapamako, MP for Sabdine, member.
My name is Rona Boti Asari, an assistant clerk to the committee.
My name is Michael Ado, Audit Service, Headquarters, Accra.
Good morning. My name is Chris Doku from the Audit Service Headquarters. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Kojo Brown. I'm from Health Section of the Audit Service, Accra.
Hello, my name is Ellen Ukanti from Agric Branch.
Thank you very much. So let's have a Controller and Accountant General to take the oath.
This one is on. Is this okay?
My Bible in your right hand. Listen, cross. So if I say I, you mention your name.
Okay.
Are we ready? I, swear by the Almighty God, that the evidence I shall give before this committee,
That the evidence I shall give before this committee,
touching the matter in issue,
shall
be the truth,
the
whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
the truth.
So help me God.
So help me God.
So, Controller, you're welcome with your team. Kindly introduce yourselves.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chair. On my left is Mr. Wisdom Mesan. Wisdom Mesan is the Deputy Controller in charge of payroll, and he has additional responsibility for audit and investigations. And on my right is Dr. Boateng. He is in charge of financial management services, and my good self, Kwesi Bosompem, Controller and Accountant of the Republic. Thank you.
Thank you very much. You have been cited in the report of the Auditor General for 2019. And in the MDA report on paragraph 144. So I'll ask Honorable Roxanne Dafamako to handle it.
Chairman, thank you very much. Chairman, the infraction the auditors have flagged in this report regarding the office of the AG is that in 2019 they discovered that some 29 pensioners who had died they obtain monthly income or monthly payment from their monthly payment before the AG got the information. And they are saying that as a result of that, they noted that between January 2018 and November 2019, your office continued to pay unearned pensions into the accounts of these people who were determined to have been deceased. And the amounts involved total 281,368 Ghana cedis, 38 pesos. Now, Chairman, the recommendation of the let me say the recommendation of the Auditor General is that the CAGD should ensure the recovery of the unearned pensions into the suspect's account. These were the observations in 2019. We are in July 2022. I want to find out if you've been able to recover these various sums from the families of these people. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chair. I just want to state that this amount of money has fully been recovered, and the details have been forwarded to the Auditor General for validation. Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman. Before I go to the Auditor Generals for confirmation, when was the recovery made in terms of time?
Thank you, Honorable Chair. Recovery, normally we have a relationship with the associations. So when names are confirmed to be deceased, the first thing we do is to write to the banks to suspend payment. And then we delete the name from the payroll. And then after that, if there is any money that has been taken, we recover. So these were recovered over the period of time within 2020. This is 2019, so it was done within 2020.
Very well. Auditors, we've been informed that there's been full recovery. If we can confirm.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We can confirm full recovery of such an amount. Thank you.
Chairman, that'll be all.
Thank you very much. So, Mr. Controller, you are discharged. That'll be all for you. Thank you for coming.
Honorable Chair. Thank you.
Let's have Ministry of Gender. Ministry of Gender. Why? But there's a...
I say I, you mention your name, then we continue. So you comment. I swear by the Almighty God.
Swear by the Almighty God.
That the evidence I shall give before this committee.
That the evidence I shall give before this committee. Touching the matter in issue.
Shall be the truth.
Shall be the truth.
The whole truth.
The whole truth.
And nothing but the truth.
And nothing but the truth.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Okay.
Let me pass it on to me.
Chief Director, you are welcome with your team. Where is the minister? I know you've written a letter. The minister is attending the cabinet meeting today. So we are prepared to accept deputies. So where is your deputy? Can you put this mic off so that this one can work? You cannot put yours on.
Honorable Chair, please, the Deputy Minister will join us soon.
All right, so we'll start with you. We hope that he joins us as soon as possible. We have only 2 issues. And the first one is in paragraph 326. Honorable Kwesi Konedu, paragraph 326. Handle it.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. The offense has to do with, infraction has to do with someone accounted for revenue to the tune of 75,728 Ghana cedis at the Regional Social Welfare Office in Secondary. But the auditors recommended, Mr. Chairman, that they advised them to put in place some internal controls. I'd like to ask. They said that the amount of 75,728 should be fully recovered. What is the status of that amount in terms of recovery now?
Thank you, Honorable Chair. Honorable Chair, I'm with the Director of Social Welfare and also the heads of those institutions. So I'll defer the question so that they respond to.
Kindly introduce yourself before you respond.
Okay. I'm Dr. Afisa Zakaria, the Chief Director of the Ministry of Gender, Children and Social Protection.
Okay.
Thank you.
I'm Reverend Dr. Comforter Sari, the Director of Department of Social Welfare.
Yeah, continue with the introduction.
I am Samuel Elvis Na, former Center Manager, Social Welfare, Vocational at Secondary.
I am Jonathan Janjo, the Regional Director, Department of Social Welfare, Western Region.
My name is Nelson Toga, Chief Internal Auditor of the Ministry.
All right, so respond to the question now. The question is, as amount, the money being accounted for, the 75,728 Ghana cedis.
Yes, Honorable Chairperson and members of the Public Accounts Committee, the vocational school, SIPON, received a compensation amount of 68,000 plus, and the center used the money for certain things at the center. When the auditors came, they said that no. In fact, initially they didn't wake up to audit. They audited the regional office first. They brought the observations. Then later on, about 3 days, 4 days, they brought the center vocational schools observation too. So I asked the center manager whether the auditors had come there to audit them. But he said that no, and nobody also came to ask me any question. But they had used the money for certain things at the center. Again, on the same issue, an anonymous person reported the center manager to Yoko, the Western region, that money that came, excuse my word, he said he had chopped the money. So Yoko invited him and they came and did their investigations. And they said that the money was used for certain things at the center. And he didn't chop the money. So we submitted all the the receipts and what have you. Before we came, in fact, we came here January, it was postponed. The accounts committee was postponed. Then February we came, but they didn't call us. So we submitted all the receipts and what have you to the auditors. So that's where we are now.
Mr. Chairman, we would like to know what these certain things are, because you see,
yes,
the infraction is against Regulation 46 of the Public Financial Management Act, which requires you to deposit all of these non-tax revenues that you collect into the designated consolidated fund transit account. So what are these certain things that the money was used for?
Some of the things were the center. It needed a kind of a boundary. People were encroaching. So they used some of it for concrete pillars. Again, they used some for the painting of their administrative block and dormitories. There were certain places where when it rains, the place was flooded. So they used some for gutters and other things. In fact, when the Yoko people came, all the things that they used, they investigated, they went there to see it themselves. And then we provided the receipts and what have you.
Mr. Chairman, are we to then believe or take it that you have discretionary authority to spend money as and when you receive against the Public Financial Management Act, regardless whether they are budgeted for, approved, or you decide as to how, when to spend monies that you receive in trust and in transit for government?
Yes, on that issue, in fact, we were not aware that such monies should have been used. In fact, we are sorry that such an issue came up. In fact, we were not aware that we shouldn't use that money. But there were certain things that, needed to be done at the center. In fact, if you come to the center, there are so many things that needs money to be done. But the auditor said that we shouldn't have to use the money. But that was where the problem was. So we plead with the committee that next time when such monies come, we will seek parliamentary approval or finance from the Ministry of Finance before we use it.
Mr. Chairman, while still I'm not certain, but I rather would want to also seek an inquiry from the auditors, if indeed, regardless of the fact that they don't have authorization to spend, whether they've also verified themselves as to when these monies that they say they've used, what they use, they're able to account for all of these 75,000 in terms of what they say they use for.
Audit Service, yes.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. In his submission, he indicated that they just forwarded the requisite documentation to the Audit Service for verification. So based on the status report we are yet to verify those documents. So we cannot confirm or deny what he's saying. Thank you.
But they submitted the documents as they claim. Has the office received the documents?
Chairman, based on the information received from the Western Regional Office, they haven't submitted any document yet because this is the most recent status report they have provided. And they indicate here that no action has been taken on this particular infraction. But he mentioned here that they have submitted a document. That means he may have been in transit. And so we need to verify that and report back to you. Thank you.
Let me find out from you, what is your position?
I'm the Regional Director, Department of Social.
Regional Director,
yes.
Okay. Regional Director, when was the document submitted to the Audit Office for verification? When?
When they invited us here in February.
In February, yes.
They came, one of the auditors came to us that we should produce the receipts and what we use the money for. And we gave everything to them at the Western Regional Office, yes. That was in February.
Yet they claim they don't have. So
we have copy. We can give them a copies. Yes.
Those copies that you have, give them to the audit team here.
Yes.
So they could take a copy, but again, instruct your office in Secondary to ensure that they verify and then give you a feedback.
Thank you, Chairman.
Roxanne, do you want any question? Because I've made a ruling on this already.
Chairman, thank you very much. Just for guidance, you don't, Regional Director, you went before the auditors, you mentioned certain things, and they asked you to provide documents. You come before Parliament, you are still talking about certain things. Couldn't you have described the construction that you did as a constructional work instead of certain things?
The center manager is here. He will be able to tell us because he's there. Okay. All right, please. Because he is
you are actually not supposed to respond to it.
Oh, okay.
It is a guide to you. Expenditure item line called certain things. So you maybe you may call it construction of fence wall or drainage system or whatever. Better that way. Now let's move to the next one, which will be done by Honorable Chinia, paragraph 329. Honorable.
Thank you, Chairman. The infraction here is outstanding staff rent arrears amounting to 9,960 Ghana cedis. 14.
Sorry, Honorable. This one affects Social Welfare Vocational Training Center, Kufodia. So you are discharged. Those from the second D, you are discharged.
Mr. Chairman and your committee members.
So do we have the Kufodia Social Welfare? Do we have them here?
Mr. Chair, unfortunately, he has not arrived. Meanwhile, he said he was on his way. We've been waiting for him. He's not arrived. But he brought his responses earlier on.
So will you respond to the questions?
What we have is receipts of payments. It's part of the document we have given right now. I think it's a mistake. I carried all away. So there are receipts in there.
Okay, Honorable, go ahead and ask the question.
All right, thank you, Chairman. 14 of your staff have some rent arrears amounting to 9,960 Ghana cedis. And the auditors recommended that you should recover this amount from defaulting officers. I want to find out, have you been able to recover the said amount?
Yes, Mr. Chair. We've recovered some. Not all have paid fully, but majority have paid fully. So, yes, we attached the receipts. They are here. The receipts of payments we've attached.
So, out of the 9,960, how much have you recovered and how much is outstanding?
And that is what he was to submit today. He just brought us the receipts and we said it was not the full report. And we are waiting for him. He hasn't arrived.
Chairman, I defer to you. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Member. Are you sure he's really coming?
We called him before we entered and you called us. I was standing outside. He didn't answer. But earlier on, he said he was coming.
I doubt if he's really coming. We'll discharge you, but we wanted to call him again and pass the information to him that we want him to come. And then yeah, so the information that I'm getting per the document you submitted to the audit service, only 1,460 has been recovered. The balance left to be recovered is 8,500. So not much has been done in terms of recovery. So kindly pass the information to him that the committee says that it should provide evidence apart from this if further recovery have been made. If not, we'll give him 2 weeks to make sure that all these tenants have paid. 2 weeks. Failure of which we will ask he himself to pay the entire 8,500. I think that's the best we can do for him. Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. So, clerk, take notes. We are giving 2 weeks for the recovery of the 8,500. If by the time we are writing our reports that hasn't been done, we will ask that the full amount is recovered from him. Thank you very much. Dr. Afisa, with your team.
So much, Honorable Chair, and thank you, Honorables. We are grateful.
Now let's have Minister of Health. Do we have the Minister? Minister of Health.
But they still get their budget. Don't they get their budget?
But it's a bogus ministry.
Yeah. When this man was there, it was difficult for us. What is it? That drug is that.
Your girlfriend? Huh? Your girlfriend?
No. The one
for Minister of what? Chief Director, if we have any district or regional officers who will be speaking to the issue, they should also take part.
Not everybody. My brother. Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
If you don't have a Bible or a Quran, raise your right hand. Your right hand. Right hand. We are ready. Is the Bible in your right? Bible in your right. Is that you okay? If I say I, mention your name, then we continue. We are starting.
Okay.
I swear by the Almighty God
Swear by the Almighty God
that the evidence I shall give before this committee
that the evidence I shall give before this committee
touching the matter in issue
shall
be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
and nothing but the truth.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Now, please sit down.
Excuse me.
Stand up there.
Mr. Chief Director, kindly introduce yourselves.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Good morning, Mr. Chair and committee members. My name is Kwabena Bwodi Ukuafere, Chief Director of the Ministry of Health. And with me, we have the Director General and directors from the Ghana.
Let them introduce
Ghana Health
themselves.
Service, and some directors from the Ministry Head Office. So I'll let them do the self-introduction.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chair. My name is Dr. Patrick Kumabwaji, the Director General of the Ghana Health Service, and happy birthday.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman and committee members. I'm Mustafa Adam Samidu, Director of Finance, Ghana Health Service. Thank you.
Good morning, Chairman and members. I'm Edward Frimpong, Director of Internal Audit, Ghana Health Service.
Good morning, Chair. My name is Daniel Azuma, Director Internal Audit, Ministry of Health.
Mr. Chief Director, where is your minister?
The minister is on his way. I just called him. He said that he was around. So I believe he will.
We'll take your words.
Yes.
I will start with you, but if he doesn't come, we will hold you responsible.
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair.
Yes, your ministry is cited in the MDA report of the Auditor General for 2019, starting from paragraph 174. So I'll ask Honorable Kofi Adams to start. Paragraph 174. Honorable.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. And it should be very appropriate for me to join many well wishers to wish you a very happy birthday. Well, Ministry of Health, you are now invited to answer your issues. You've been cited in this report for having issues to do with some withholding taxes. You either withheld and failed to remit, or you did not deduct taxes you were bound by law to deduct, withhold, and transfer same to the account designated for that purpose. The audit realized that this was because you had weak control measures in terms of supervising your institution. So they recommended strongly to exercise strong control over the accounting processes of these institutions. Even before we come to what has happened to these monies, how are you exercising this strong control recommended by the auditors in terms of your accounting processes? Whilst we wait for your minister to take his oath, you can deal with this one.
Honorable Minister, you have to take the oath.
I
I,
Kwaku Ajimamenu,
swear by the Almighty God.
Swear by the Almighty God.
That the evidence I shall give before this committee.
Evidence I shall give before this committee.
Touching the matter in issue.
Touching the matter in issue.
Shall be the truth.
Shall be the truth.
The whole truth. The whole truth. And nothing but the truth. So help me. So help me.
Honourable Minister, you're welcome.
Thank you, Chairman.
Yeah, we just started, so the first issue is being handled by Honourable Kofi Adams.
Kofi, thank you.
So, Honourable, you can continue now.
Thank you, Chairman. I've already asked the question unless the Minister wants me to repeat same.
Honourable, we will continue from where you ended, so they will answer the question.
Okay.
Whose turn was it? It's a withholding tax question. Okay.
Yes. Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, I'll ask the Financial Controller to respond to this.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. In respect of the withholding taxes, many of the ones that had been paid and verified by the auditors as having been done.
It looks like you didn't listen to my question, so you are giving your own answers. I'm following the order in which the auditors wrote their report, and I'm asking you the first item, the 176, is of concern to me. The strong controls that is in place as far as your accounting systems is concerned. I've read your report that you've submitted without that, so I'm interested in that more before I will come to what has happened.
Thank you very much, Chairman. Our accounting systems are quite robust on these things. Once in a while, you get some of these infractions from the periphery. Currently, we insist and had trained them to remit taxes as and when it is withheld, to ensure that these infractions are not done. We've also strengthened our internal control systems. In fact, the internal audit unit had been beefed up such that when they do the pre-audit, they will pick up some of these things before they become challenges. Thank you, Chairman.
Meaning the 2021 report that we have will not find.
It will be reduced, hopefully.
From 12 to?
Probably very minimal.
Well, the other concern I have per your answers here is to do with the response that it was 10% was what was prevailing between 2015 and 2019. But at the same time, you said you have paid the 20%. If it was 10%, how did you pay the 20%?
Mr. Chairman, normally we would defer to what the auditors had verified and asked to be done.
So, how did you? Like in the case of allowances, did you take it from beneficiaries or you paid from another account, funds that should have been used for other purposes? How did you? I want to be sure. If you said it was 10%, then you've given it to them and they are gone. How did you pay?
Honorable Chairman, we take it from the beneficiaries.
You are very sure of that? That will not find you using other funds to pay this?
No.
Can you confirm that they have truly remitted to the state the total amount of 284,079 Ghana cedis as captured in this report?
Honorable Chair, We have actually verified. We went to do a follow-up, and we noted that it's been paid, and we have all the documents to testify to that.
Mr. Chairman, that should be all for them as far as this issue is concerned. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Honorables. Let's move to the next one. Paragraph 178 of the report. Honorable Bauer will handle that one. Honorable.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The infraction there has been captured revenue not accounted for. And the auditors in their review of collections show that some BMCs do not comply with the regulation. That's the regulation to deposit money into the Treasury single account at least 24 hours after collection. And they sampled 25 BMCs between 2016 and 2019, for instance. They noted that a total of 1,484,414.69 Ghana cedis collected was not accounted for. And a table listing the BMCs and the officers responsible, about 25 of them, with monies that have not been accounted for, totaling the amount that I mentioned. And so the auditors recommended the full recovery of the unaccounted for monies. Director, can you bring us to speed as to how you complied with the recommendation of the auditors?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'll ask the Ghana Health Service to respond to that.
Thank you, Chair. As far as this infraction is concerned, I think we have like General Hospital and a whole list, and accounted for. It's all been accounted for as far as our responses are, and we share that with the auditors to confirm.
The other recommendation was that you should strengthen internal controls to ensure that this regulation is not flouted again in future. Can you tell us how you've gone about that? Have you been able to strengthen your internal controls now, and in future I want to go see this same kind of infraction?
Honorable, thank you very much. We submitted even a summary of some of the internal controls and the system that we have put in place to Chair and the ranking. But I'll let the Director of Finance give the details on what we've done to ensure that these internal controls are adhered to.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. As a service, we have tried to beef up the number of internal auditors that we have. We haven't been able to recruit internal auditors, but we've recruited admin managers. And these admin managers, we have a program of beefing their capacity to convert them into internal auditors so that they can help us with the internal audit. And as we increase the number of internal auditors in our facilities, we have some facilities without internal auditors at all. We zone the internal auditors. But as we increase the numbers and the ratio of internal auditors to facilities becomes improved upon, this should help us to resolve this challenge to a large extent. We also do what we call financial validations quarterly on our financial state reports before we pick them up to produce financial statements. And we have created an exceptional report on especially the undeposited cash, which is leading to this, to ensure that the revenues are properly accounted for. And we also do conduct financial monitoring and supervision visits from the regions to the facilities, and even from the national to the facilities. Recently, we've started supporting our internal audit to do revenue audits of some of the facilities. We just did that. We did one this year. So we are hoping that with all these measures, definitely we should see significant improvement in this area. Lastly, as a service, we have also started actually dispensing strict administrative sanctions on some of the revenue accountants who are involved, where the issues involve embezzlement and all that. We sanction them. Some have even been jailed. I think last year an accountant was jailed somewhere in the northern region. So these are some of the things we are doing to make sure that. And then on-site banking too. We are increasing the number of on-site banks to our facilities. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Auditors, can you confirm whether these amounts have been fully recovered?
Mr. Chairman, information we have indicates that a few of them are outstanding. For instance, at the Regional Health Directorate, they provided documents instead of the actual refund. And then at the district hospital in Nadoli Kaliu, the amount is still outstanding. There are a few others which are outstanding, so we'll have to reconcile with them and then paint the correct picture. Thank you.
DG, so what steps are you going to take to ensure these monies? Because already flouted the financial management regulations, and they are keeping this money. This audit was in 2019. So if they are still keeping some of these monies, it goes against the regulation. And what steps are you taking to ensure that those still keeping these monies are sanctioned?
Yes. So, Mr. Chairman, so the WA Regional Health Directorate one, it wasn't really revenue. There were program funds for program activities, and the program activities were going on as at the time of the audit and even after the audit ended. So they have provided the documents supporting that activity to the auditors. And so if the information has not reached Ghana Audit Service, then I'm sure the reconciliation will show, and the auditors would make that information in due time, maybe the shortest possible time, to the committee. That's what I have to say.
Mr. Chairman, it seems there are still some issues to be sorted out between the auditors and the Ghana Health Service with respect to this infraction. So I leave the rest to you for your.
Yeah, thank you very much, Honorable Member. DG, your own summary shows that 3 of the BMCs did not account for the revenue collected. However, you did not indicate names of those BMCs. So can we know the names of those BMCs for this revenue not accounted for? Because out of 22, 19 were fully resolved, remaining 3. Yes, according to, no, I'm talking about this particular one, your issue. Out of the 25, okay, but they, in the summary here, they put 22 here. So what are the names of those BMCs?
I'll mention the names and Director of Finance will continue.
Okay.
It's Sefioso District Hospital, Joaboso Hospital, and Diaso. That means Sefioso and Joaboso of Western North, and Diaso of Central Region. This is where we have them. Director of Finance will give the details of what has been done so far.
So, Mr. Chairman, on this particular issue, I think facilities are Apinto Government Hospital, Joaboso, and Sefiri also. For the Sefiri also, it has to do with, I think, mortuary fees. And management is actually of the opinion that those revenues were not generated because it had to do with embalmment. And the auditors assumed that for everybody that came in, it was supposed to be embalmed. So they calculated the cost of embalmment or the embalmment fees by the number of bodies that came in. But some of the bodies that come in, some of them are Muslims, and they don't stay long enough to be embalmed. Some are transfers of bodies that came in from other facilities which were already embalmed and went out. So if we look at those things, then not everybody that was in the mortuary that was embalmed, and for which reason management disagreed with the auditors. For the a similar thing happened at Joaboso. It has to do with formalin, where again the auditors assume that for everybody that comes in, a certain quantity of formalin, of course costed, is supposed to be used on them. But there were some challenges in the hospital at the time. I think the issue had to do with, I think, the power situation, electricity. So there was a recommendation from, is it the BNI? The BNI that they should give more formalin, inject more, I don't know the technical, they should use more formalin to preserve the bodies in order to counter the effects of the fluctuations in power. So again, the calculations of the auditors, management disagreed with that. With Apinto Government Hospital, yes, there's still outstanding some of the monies that were not accounted for. Management actually sanctioned the accountant. He was moved to another hospital to work under supervision, and he's been paying. He's paid, I think, about from our the balance is 99,000, which he is still paying. So these are the brief of the three facilities. Thank you.
All right, so the remaining three, where you disagree with the auditors, yes, Director of Finance.
Mr. Chairman, the two.
The two.
Well,
you agree with the two. That is Savioso Government Hospital.
And
then Joaboso. Safi, there are two. Joaboso too, there are two. Which of them do you agree with? Safi, they have the one that involving Eric Insia and 14 others, totaling 87,000. Then the second one is Augustine, 30,000. Which one do you agree, or which one do you disagree?
Mr. Chairman, I'm trying to get the exact. The 87 we agreed, and the money has
been recovered.
Yes,
okay.
Yes,
so is 30,000 that you disagree?
Yes, sir.
What of Joaboso? One Emmanuel Aka, 30,600, and then the second one Mr. Christopher Akobila, and that one is 62,000.
Yes, sir. So the first one, Emmanuel Aka, we agree, and it's been refunded.
Okay.
The second one is the
Akobila.
That's where the formalin in the mortuary, which we discussed.
Yeah. So in the mortuary, don't you have record that the auditors can depend on? That this dead body came already or transferred from another mortuary, so there's no need for embalmment. That record must be there. If those records are not there, the auditors will just use the number of dead bodies that came there and apply the formula, straight jacket. Don't you have records at the mortuary for the auditor to verify?
Mr. Chairman, yes, we agree. But those records at the mortuary, they were not. The records were not, what do we call it? They were not very updated, or for want of a better word, they were not inadequate. They were not adequate. They were not adequate.
So you can't blame the auditor here.
No, we can't blame them. But
here you are disagreeing with the auditor's finding. If the records are not adequate, how did you come up by saying that some of the bodies were transferred from other mortuaries? If the records are not, how do you came up with that?
Those records were there. The records of the bodies, that the movement of the bodies in the mortuary was there. But it's the records of the use of the formalin on the bodies which was not adequate.
Again, I come back to my question. So how do you are the accountant, you are the director of finance, how do you determine that information, if those, or the explanation was given to you by the mortuary men?
Okay.
Verbally, because there's no record.
Let me try to explain on behalf of my accountant. What he's trying to say is that, you know, accountants and auditors, we believe in trends and estimation.
Here you are not speaking as an accountant.
No, the question is to the accountant, so I'm helping the accountant. You know, what the accountant is saying is that the auditors have an indication of how much formalin is used per a body. So if they have records for 30 bodies, they will multiply by that quantity and say that these were the formalin that should have been used. But he is trying to say that that estimation is like a bit theoretical. But the actual sense, this type of formalin was used for bodies that were transferred. They counted the numbers, but as to the treatment, they didn't actually have records. But the auditors just did the theoretical estimation, and that is why they say that you need to reconcile and things like that.
Yeah, Honourable Minister, in the absence of records, the best the auditor would do is to look at the number and multiply.
I agree, Chairman.
That's what you do.
Yes.
So, how did you get that information? Is it by verbal explanation by the mortuary men that, oh, this one, we didn't apply any environment, no chemical on them?
Yes.
And you took it as the truth?
Chairman, thank you. And let me add this. In determining that, it also depends on how long the body stayed with you at the mortuary. A body that stayed for 2 weeks will not attract the same amount of formalin application like a body that stays for a year. So all those things will come down to records.
Let's go to the mortuary. Honorable Chair, I think we accept the challenge, but looking at the capacity.
Order.
Looking at the capacity of our mortuaries, I think this documentation becomes a challenge. We are putting systems in place because even the amount you use depends on the size of the body. Like I say, how long you're going to stay there. But we are improving to ensure that if we depend on the capacity, they will not get it right. And so we need to put in additional system to ensure that these calculations are documented appropriately.
Director General, who do the entries at the mortuary? Is there a mortuaryman? And if the mortuaryman decides not to do this particular entry, what can you do? What system will you put in place?
Honorable, I think the administrators have oversight over them, and so we want them to have periodic checks to ensure that these documentations are appropriately done and not dependent on them. Otherwise, they are used to one figure and they'll just stick, and then that's what will be a challenge.
Okay, Director of Finance, even the information before the auditors shows that, so if you also, the one you accept, the Eric, Insia, and 14 others, the 87,331, the information is that only 1,800, I think so, 1,800 have been recovered. That's the information before the auditors. But you claim that all have been, you accept it and you have recovered fully.
Yes.
Honorable Chair,
Delay in banking.
Those monies have been paid into the bank. So
delay in banking.
They've been paid, and so we can reconcile that for the auditors.
Okay, you need to reconcile that. And those auditors, it's difficult now to make a decision on what they disagree with. You're finding that they disagree in terms of the formula used by auditors to determine the revenue. And then the explanation they are also giving based on verbal explanation, I think so, by the mortuarymen. It's difficult to determine. To me, you are right, because that's the information available is the number of bodies that came in, so you apply the formula. But they are saying that some of the bodies were like, Mustafa, you mentioned Muslims.
Yes, some of the people were also Muslims.
But Muslims, when they die in the morning, they are buried in the afternoon.
Yes, so, but in some cases...
But how would they come to the...
In some cases, if they die in the hospital, they are kept in the hospital, in the mortuary for some hours, sometimes even overnight.
Oh, okay.
And those ones, the names can give a strong indication.
I'm wondering how the body that will be buried the following day can go to the mortuary again. Sometimes.
We don't have money buried.
Well, so we'll flag this one and take a decision later. It's difficult to determine. Let's move to the next. Honorable Minister.
Chairman, the good news is the fact that that place, the medical superintendent and the has been reassigned, and we have given him a smaller facility in Ashanti region now. And the head of our administration, is that right? Finance has also been reassigned to avoid some of these infractions on the system.
Let's move to the next one, paragraph 182. Honorable Roxanne.
Chairman, thank you very much. Chairman, the infraction in this case is in breach of Regulation 146 of the Public Financial Management Regulation 2019, which demands that principal spending officers be responsible for the efficient control of stock of value books of the covered entity. Now, the auditors in 2019 noted that as many as 233 value books from 7 entities, ranging from La General Hospital to Seshuyosu Government Hospital, now were not made available for them to see. And so, as a result, they are unable to determine the value of revenue that we got from this, the use of these value books. And Chairman, before I put my question, this is worrying because last year we were assured that some of these things will recur, and we were all happy.
No, that is because this report was done before last year.
But if you recall, we asked them that, so in 2019 we report, won't we see this? They say yes. Going forward, they say there was a loud chorus. But let me ask whether the demand by the auditors to get you to produce the value books for them to check have been met. This July 2022. They made the demand in 2019. Paragraph 184 contains demand by the auditors to have the books produced for them to verify.
Appendix. It's an appendix that gives you that.
It goes as follows. In view of the failure of management to present the value books for our examination, we are unable to ascertain the total revenue collected from the use of those value books. We urge management of the respective institutions to retrieve the value books for our inspection, failure of which they should be sanctioned. They are also further saying that they recommend the exercise of strong oversight on the activities of the accounting officers. So they demanded to have the books examined. That's what I'm asking.
Okay. Mr. Chairman, yes, the books have been made available for examination. And in two instances where the books...
No, it's okay. It's okay. Oh, you've already submitted that the books have been given to them for examination. Auditors. Is this correct?
Mr. Chairman, yes, as he indicated, they have provided the value books to our officers for verification. We are yet to receive the values collected from those books. And so when we get that, we'll furnish the committee with the requisite information. Thank you. A few of them, however, we have received. For instance, La General Hospital, Obum Health Care Center, we have been able to work on those. Thank you.
I'm worried. Ghana Health Service is saying they've given the books to you for examination. You also say you got some. Now, how many out of the 7, how many entities did you actually see and examine?
Mr. Chairman, we have information from Gushegu, we have La General Hospital, we have Obum Healthcare Center. And he mentioned that they have provided the books, but they are yet to receive feedback from our office. Obum, we have verified. La General Hospital, yes, but the others, we are yet to get the information. Thank you.
Chairman, the record will show that Asin North has 15 value books. Zabzugu NHIA 146, and Seshuyosu is 13. Now, Ghana Health Service, how come the auditors still do not have these books nearly 4 years after making this demand?
Honorable Chair, we've given the books. The one for NHIA is not Ministry of Health, so maybe that's why. And Ghana Health Service.
Chairman,
Yes, Minister.
maybe a little clarification to satisfy my colleagues' curiosity. The system works such that Ghana Audit Service has offices in all the districts. So when they audit Obom, for example, it is the district audit service that audits. So only infraction with OBOM will have to be sorted out at that district office. When they finish, they will then bring to the headquarters. And what the auditors are saying is that we have submitted to the districts, but they haven't got reports from their districts. And that is what they want to reconcile and come back to you. So we have actually submitted to various districts. We're only waiting that they will complete their work.
Honorable Minister, I know you were the former chairman of this committee, and you want to use your tricks. Okay. Okay. Before we started this public hearing, we had asked the audit service to get feedback information from all the district offices, which they did. So their status report is current. Okay.
Honorable Chair, I was just trying
it's
to.
current. I know what you're trying to say. I know what you're trying to say. So.
Chair, now that you have reminded me of my position as the chair, former chair, you know, you have only reminded me of one person we worked with within the audit service who has passed on. And I think at this place, if now I'm here, we want to mention him.
Mr. Sifa.
Mr. Sifa.
Okay.
Thank you. Don't tell me about my former position again. It will take me
Chairman,
memories back.
I am. Let the record reflect that we are interrogating the 2019 report in July 2022. So the time lapse is very, very material. We are not speaking of 2 weeks or 1 month. So if the auditors demanded ex post facto their exit conference for value books to be received and examined, I think we had ample time to do that, and we should encourage it. That's all we are interested. We should encourage it. Chairman, thank you.
All right. So there is instruction that the reconciliation should be made for this particular one, whether all the summary here, all the value books have been submitted to the audit service. So audit service, make sure you verify these value books and report back to the committee.
Thank you, Honorable Chair.
Thank you. Let's move to the next. Yes.
I just wanted to indicate that we have attached an appendix giving details of all those submissions. Thank you.
Yeah, but what we mean is the value book itself for the audits to verify. Because we have your summary, your details here.
It's in the appendix that we provided.
Okay.
The value books, the individual value books, and their numbers.
Their numbers are there.
Yes.
Yeah, but those numbers can be generated by any system. It is a physical verification that we're talking about. Now let's go to paragraph 185. It's unsubstantiated payment, 2.5 million Ghana cedis. This involves a number of BMCs, so I'm going to take them one by one. At Dabraka Polyclinic, 1 PV has been substantiated now. At Dabraka Polyclinic, the amount is 2,232 Ghana.
Yes, sir. It's been.
Auditors, can you confirm this? At Dabraka Polyclinic.
Honorable Chair, it's been cleared, it's been paid. Verified, thank you.
The next one is Kaneshi Polyclinic, 5 PVs. The amount that has not been presented is, unpresented is 6,500. And then, no, unsupported is 6,500. Unpresented is 5,100. Total 11,700. Auditors, have they cleared this? Kaneshi Polyclinic, 4 PVs and 3 PVs, making 7. Yes, auditor.
Mr. Chair, they couldn't provide the PVs, but they paid the money into the chest.
The total 11,712?
Yes, it's been paid.
So it's been cleared?
Yes, please.
The next one is Okaikwe Sub-Metro, Kaneshi, 9,201. Has it been paid? Or, because there's no PV involved here, only the amount is stated in the report. 9,201 Ghana cedis. Auditors.
Honorable Chair, it's been cleared, so it's verified. It's been verified.
The next one is, do we have all these polyclinic and machinery? Do we have their reps here in the hall? Not all of them, but some are here. Okay, let's move to the next one. Accra Mental Health Authority, 56,400, involving 2 PVs. Have they substantiated the PVs now with the documents? Auditors.
Honorable Chair, it's been verified.
The next one is Greater Accra Regional Hospital, REACH. 1 PV involving 19,050 Ghana. Has it been fully accounted for?
Honorable Chair, it's been verified.
The next one is Ministry of Health, headquarters itself. Mr. Sambuatin, 10 PVs, 51,340. Have you supported them with the PVs?
Yes, Honorable Chairman, we have.
Auditors, can you confirm?
Verify the payment, yeah.
The next one is, yeah, that's where I work. In fact, I resigned when I was Minister of Health before I joined politics.
Exercised into
If
politics.
you want to know much,
Yes.
Sambuatin was my co-worker.
He was your junior at the time.
No, we're colleagues.
Then he will come here too.
The next one is Pantan Psychiatric Hospital. 6 PVs unpresented. Have they presented the PVs now? 13,929 Ghana. I'll call you back. I'm chairing a meeting. I'll call you. I'm chairing a meeting. I'll call you back. Yes, auditors. Pantan Psychiatric. 13,929 Ghana cedi, 50 pesos. Involving 6 PVs. Unpresented. Let's make it quick because there are many BMCs involved here.
Honorable Chair, we verified it and it's left with 2,752 to be paid.
2,752
outstanding.
They are supposed to pay that one?
Yes, please.
Clerk, take notes. They're supposed to pay this money, 2,752. The next one is Nurses Training College, Pantang. The amount is 37,349 Ghana cedi, 56 pesos from 7 PVs.
NTC.
Unsupported.
This one.
This unsupported. They've even paid more.
Yes, yeah. Honorable Chair, the issue has been verified. Yeah.
The next one is Metro Health Directorate, Health Department at Abraka,
Metro.
7,580 Ghana.
Metro. Do we go there? Metro. We don't have Metro.
Verified.
It's not here.
Auditors, we are waiting for you.
Honorable Chair, we verified the payment.
You're taking your time to verify. Is that?
I want to be very sure.
Correct information. Thank you.
It's a tall list. Is it not numbered like the one in the report? Because I'm going according to the numbering. The next one is Tamajina Hospital. 39 PVs unsupported. 58,259 Ghana cedis.
Mr. Chairman, that has been verified and found correct. Thank you.
Next, Cape Coast Teaching Hospital. That's my hospital too. Are they here? Cape Coast. Ntabetin, are you here? Stand up, let me see you. Okay. That's my hospital.
Well, Chairman, the minister needs a little more disclosure.
That was my last duty post. From there, I came to headquarters.
Oh, you worked at Cape Coast too?
Yes. I was the hospital there for 3 years.
Oh, I see.
Yes.
Then you're a proper frontline health worker.
But I put up the system. I put up the system.
At Cape Coast?
Working well before I left.
Oh, but nobody is doubting. Congratulations. That's why I said you're a frontline health worker.
So, 8 PVs unpresented, no, 5 PVs unpresented, and 8 PVs unsupported. Auditors. The total amount is 78,000.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. 78,353.10 pesos.
Yes.
Duly verified, found correct. Thank
Good.
you.
The next one is the District Health Directorate, DIASO.
Mr. Chairman, those documents have also been verified and found to be correct. Thank you.
Ewotu Senya Health Center, Ewotu Senya. The amount involved is 14,553.36 from 6 PVs.
Mr. Chairman, that has also been dealt with. Thank you.
Next one is Municipal Health Directorate, Winneba. 14 PVs, amount 16,816 Ghana cedis.
Chairman, the amount of 16,816 cedis has been verified. Thank you.
The next one is Municipal Health Directorate, Kaswa. 3 PVs, 14,237.57.
Mr. Chairman, we have verified the PVs and found them to be correct. Thank you.
Next one is District Health Directorate, Kifo, Ati Mokwa.
Mr. Chairman, that infraction is still outstanding.
9 PVs, 38,038 Ghana cedis, 50%.
38,038.5. Yeah, still outstanding.
Outstanding. Clerk, take notes. West Municipal Health Directorates, Aguna, Swedro. 8 PVs, amount 7,408.24 Ghana cedis.
Chairman, relevant documentation in support of the payment vouchers have been verified. Thank you.
The next one is Frami Health Center. 3 PVs, amount 7,947.76 Ghana cedis.
Chairman, we have verified those payment vouchers and found them to be correct.
Next one is Elmina Urban Health Center. Elmina Urban. No, sorry. Jukwa Health Center. The amount is 8,628 from 11 PVs.
Chairman, all 11 payment vouchers have been verified and found to be correct. Thank you.
Okay, then let's come to Elmina Urban Health Center now. The no PV number involved here, 30,716 Ghana cedis.
Honorable Chair, the amount has been verified and found to be correct. Thank you.
Ankafo Psychiatric Hospital, 1 PV unpresented, 2,770.
Mr. Chairman, the payment voucher valued at 2,770 is still outstanding. Thank you.
Outstanding. Do we have Ankafo Psychiatric Hospital here? Ankafo. The PV is still outstanding. Come to the table. Tell us why you cannot locate the PV.
Mr. Chair.
Sit down, sit down.
Okay. Thank
you. No, they said all of them in the morning. I've asked that all those people who will be speaking to the issue should take part in the oath.
You have taken the oath, haven't you? Yeah, because you. Yeah, Mr. Chair, the PV was initially audited, take with the green pen, but when they had left, it was later not to be found. So this became something we were unable to understand. Yes, so my director is actually here, and I don't know.
So it means that you can't locate the PV?
Yes, it cannot be located after it has been audited.
It cannot be located. It means that there is no evidence of that expenditure.
No, it was audited.
Audited by who?
The auditors themselves.
No, internal or external auditors?
External, please.
But you're saying that
it was
these
audited.
PVs are not presented. They are not even, if they are unsupported, it means that they have cited it. This one is unpresented. So what happened is that they saw the entry in the cash book.
Sure.
That 2,770 has been paid.
Ticked.
Probably the PV number is even entered in the cash book, but the PV itself was not presented for verification.
Mr. Chairman, it was located, presented, ticked, audited, but later they came back that it was not found. It was when we were going to go look for it again that we also couldn't trace. So in the books, you could see their green pen ticked. In the books, in our books, the departmental cash book.
Which of your books?
In our books, our departmental book.
The book of them?
Cash book, sorry.
Cash book, yes.
Yes.
And for cash book, ticking with a green pen means that the entry have been found in the bank statement, so they will take it. You have entered in the cash book, and it's reflected in the bank statement, so they will take it.
So,
but whether the PV is there, the PV has nothing to do with the taking.
Mr. Chair, if it's not found, they will not work on it.
No, I'm not saying that. What I'm saying that they take it because they saw the entry in the cash book. They saw the check stubs, the entry in the check stub. They take it in the cash book. They take it in the bank statement, but no PV. So they don't know what that money was used for. It's the PV that will tell the auditor the purpose of that money, that expenditure, the purpose. The PV is not there, so unpresented PV. So ticking doesn't mean that they've seen it.
All right then.
On that note, we'll be asking you to refund the money.
Yes, sir, Mr. Chair.
Okay, so take note, auditors, 2,770 Ghana cedis should be refunded by management of Ankafo Psychiatric Hospital. Atimokwa, there are a number of them involved. This one I selected it because it's only one PV. Let's move to Municipal Health Directorate, Elmina. Yes, Auditor.
Mr. Chairman, timeline for payment by Ankafo Psychiatry Hospital.
2 weeks. 2 weeks.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Municipal Health Directorate, Elmina. 13 PVs unsupported. 66,098 Ghana cedis, 0.57 pesos, 57 pesos.
Chairman, all 13 PVs were submitted for the validation. Thank you.
Aguna Health Center, 18 PVs unsupported, 30,570 Ghana cedis, 59 pesos.
Chairman, the payment vouchers have been duly verified. Thank you.
Municipal Health Directorate, Kibi, 2 PVs, 6,200.
Chairman, the amount was paid back to government chest and the documentation provided for the verification. Thank you.
Okay. Municipal Health Directorate, 14 PVs, 65,347.20 Ghana cedis.
Honorable Chair, the amount of 65,347.20 pesos is still outstanding.
Outstanding. Do we have the Health Directorates, Wenchi here? Wenchi Health Directorates. Director of Finance, do you have any information on why these 14 PVs were not presented for verification by Wenchi Health Directorates?
Mr. Chairman, the PVs have been submitted by the BMC to the district auditors.
Yeah, so the PVs, according to the Ghana Health Service, have been submitted for verification. But your record shows that they are still outstanding, right?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Yes, exactly so. The same district audit provided us with the information. It could be a case of items in transit. So we'll have to do the needed follow-ups and then advise this committee. Thank you.
How long will this PV be in transit from the Health Directorate of Wenchi to the audit service in Wenchi? Which truck are they using to carry it? Thank you.
I will follow up today and just give them feedback as to when the
All right, so it's outstanding. Sudoku, you do a follow-up.
We'll do that.
So flag it. The next one is Pembe Nursing and Midwifery Training College. 23 PVs unsupported, 95,224 series, 11 pesos.
Mr. Chairman, our information is that the PVs have been duly verified. Thank you.
Next one.
Chairman, just for correction, don't kill the name. It's not Pempe, it's Pembe.
Pembe?
Yes.
Okay,
in the Savannah region.
Savannah region, okay. Because I don't eat I don't eat TZ frequently, so Pembe. The next one is District Health Directorate, Mamprugu Mogduri. Mamprugu Mogduri. 3 PVs on 3,777.
PVs duly verified, please. Thank you.
District Health Directorate, Nanumba South. 58 PVs unpresented. 58 PVs unpresented. 141,989 series, 73 pesos. 58 PVs unpresented. Have they presented them now?
Mr. Chairman, the information we have is that those documents were presented and were duly verified by the District Audit Office. Thank you.
The next one is Health Insurance Authority, GIRAPA. Well, this goes under the health insurance. Or do you have any information on that, Mr. Dokun?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, we have information
Okay.
that those vouchers have been verified. Thank you.
Okay. The next one is District Health Administration, Lambusier, 51,615 series, 1 Pessoa.
Mr. Chairman, we have verified those documents and found them to be correct. Thank you.
Then the next one, Hein Polyclinic, 22,690 Ghana cedis, 60 pesos.
Mr. Chairman, documents in support of those transactions have also been verified. Thank you.
The next one is Regional Health Directorate, WA, 2 PVs, unsupported, 80,935 Ghana cedis, 62 pesos, and 1 PV, unpresented, 6,550. Total, 87,485.62.
Mr. Chairman, the 3 payment vouchers totaling 87,485.62 pesos have all been duly verified. Thank you.
The next one is Regional Medical Stores, Accra. The 1 PV, unsupported, 3,620.
Honorable Chair, it's been supported. We have verified the documents.
Okay. The next one is WA Regional Hospital. Unsupported PV, 199,155.25 Ghana cedis.
Honorable Chair, this particular transaction totaling 199,155.25 pesos is still outstanding.
Regional Hospital 1, do we have reps here? Regional Hospital 1, do we have them here? Can they come forward?
How many PVs?
Clerk, let's try and make some one chair available there for anyone that will call to have a seat there. Now, so tell the committee why, in the first place, how many PVs were involved? Introduce yourself and tell us your position.
I am Mohammed Sani Al Hassan, former head of finance. The 100 and...
You are former, why are you here?
It was, I was the head of finance at the time.
Are you still in artist service?
I am, sir.
So where are you now?
I'm in OT region.
OT region?
Yes, sir.
So who is in charge now? As a, either the head of finance or the medical director? Who is in charge?
The head of finance is one Mr. Zakaria.
Is he here?
No, I don't think.
So who invited you?
This one there. Invited by the Director General.
The Director General. Director General, you invited the former without inviting the current? Director General, did you invite the current officers in charge the hospital? The former can come and assist, but legally is the current one who must face the bullet.
Honorable Chair, we didn't know that, but all the people there didn't seem to have any idea about that, and that's why we felt that he should come.
But
So
you should have invited them also. They will come and sit. Listen to the explanation that the former will give.
Honorable, we asked them to watch the television so that. Yes.
Now tell us, how many PVs are involved for this amount of 199,155 cedis, 25 pesos? How many PVs are involved?
Honorable Chair, I can't recall the number of PVs, but the amount was 199.
Yes.
Which we responded, and it was reduced to 77,117, and further reduced to 25,610.2 pesos, 20 pesos. And what happened was that most of the payments were to individuals, and the auditors had advised that we should write to the individuals to provide the receipts of their activities. We wrote to them. One individual who was the former medical director, when the letter was sent to him, he actually didn't take possession. An officer was sent from WA to him in Tamale, and he refused to take the letter. And that is why that is still outstanding.
Now, you said the amount was reduced to 77,000, further reduced to 25,000 or
Yes,
something. Sir. Who reduced the money?
Yes, sir. Honorable Chair, we wrote to the individuals who carried out the activities per the directives of the auditors and our audit committee that they should come and retire their activities. Most of them came with the receipts of the activities to retire them. But when we wrote to the former medical director, he turned down the letter. He didn't even give audience to the person who sent it.
So, you are saying that you have provided document to support some of the PVs.
Yes, sir, we did.
And that has reduced the value now to about 25,000.
Yes, sir, 25,000.
Good. Who verified that? Is it the auditors who
The auditors did that.
But the auditors are saying that the entire money is outstanding.
Well, it could be that they have not gotten information from the WA Regional Audit Service. What we have is 25,610.
And that is in the name of who?
These are all attributable to the former Dr. Barnabas Gandao.
No, let's look at it this way. You say you wrote to people involved,
yes, sir,
to bring receipts.
Yes.
And those people, I believe some of them are suppliers or they are program managers.
These were individual payments to staff that which were made.
For what?
Mostly people go on workshops and other activities.
Okay.
And when they come, they are expected to come with their receipts for the workshop. Or when you are going on an official trip, we give money out. You may have to come and retire your fuel. If it is a flight that you join, you have to come with the receipt for the flight. So these were the activities.
So the balance is in the name of who?
The balance is in the name of Dr. Barnabas Gandao.
And
former
you wrote to him?
We wrote to him.
Maybe it's a we, you and who?
Well, the management of the hospital wrote to him.
When you were still there working?
When I had left. Through the
when you had left?
Yes.
So it means that the current management is the one who has written to these people?
It was the audit committee chair who wrote to him.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
And he refused to respond. Now, this will be the committee's position. Auditors, they claim that the money has been reduced from 199 to 25. You need to establish that first by getting a feedback from the regional office in WA to confirm that they are verified and the only outstanding is the 25,000 plus. That is one. Two, the 25,000 will be surcharged on the management.
We are guided, Chairman. Thank you.
That's the position of the committee. If we establish that the money has actually been reduced to 25, then the 25 will be surcharged on management. But if it is not confirmed, then the matter is still outstanding. We'll decide whether the entire money should be surcharged or not. All right, so let's move to the next one. And so, Doku, let's have a feedback within 2 weeks.
Noted, Chairman. Thank you.
Yes.
Chairman, if you could direct that those that are still outstanding, Mr. Doku could entreat them to submit them as part of the report they has to give us in 2 weeks' time. The PVs that have not been submitted as of today.
Yeah, the PVs were submitted. All the PVs were submitted. They are unsupported.
Okay.
Yes. So they submitted all the PVs.
Okay.
They were only unsupported with the documentation.
Yes.
The next one. The next one is Kwame Krom Health Center. 4 PVs unsupported, 35,838.45.
Chairman, those have been duly verified. Thank you.
The next one is Abotoase Health Center, 32 PVs unsupported, 31,448.69.
Honorable Chair, we have verified those documents as well. Thank you.
The next one is Nkwantan of District Health Director, 9 PVs unsupported, 96,061 Ghana cedis, 60 pesos.
Chairman, we are yet to receive those payment vouchers for verification. Thank you.
Do we have Nkwantan of District Health Directorate here? Nkwantan of District Health Directorates. Director General, are they here?
No, sir. Director of Finance, they've given us a feedback. Director of Finance will just stop. Yes, sir.
Okay, Director of Finance. These are still outstanding.
Mr. Chairman, the feedback we have from the facilities that they have submitted the documents and that it has been verified by the auditors. So maybe that reconciliation can be done. Thank you.
So we need to do that reconciliation with Mr. Doku, your office should do the reconciliation.
Chairman, duly noted. Thank
Verify
you.
them. Next one is District Health Directorate, Agotima Zohi Petwe. 5 PVs unpresented, 35,616.28.
Honorable Chair, those PVs have been verified. Thank you.
Next one is Health Center, Daboasi, 3 PVs unsupported, 4,100.
Mr. Chairman, the sum of 4,100 is still outstanding. Thank you.
Health Center, Daboasi, Director of Finance, still outstanding.
Mr. Chairman, the feedback we have from the facilities that they have submitted the documents.
Okay, Mr. Doku, reconciliation. Verify.
Noted, Chairman.
Jobesu Government Hospital, 936 Ghana cedis, 36,233 Ghana cedis, 75%. They are leading. So, what is the status of this?
Honorable Chair, the amount is outstanding.
Director of Finance, almost getting to a million is outstanding. Why? Are they here? Jobesu Government Hospital, are you here? Come forward.
We have another. Yes. Okay. Mr. Chairman, the updates we have from them, though they will be coming to give further explanation, but the update we have from them is that they've submitted all the documents to substantiate the payment. But since they are here, maybe they can.
We'll hear them. Kindly introduce yourself.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. My name is Dr. Marion Okun-Owusu. I'm the Regional Director of Health Services for Western North Region. And I'm speaking on behalf of Jabuso Hospital. So the said amount was used to procure medicines and non-medicine supplies, non-drug consumables for the hospital. And at the time of the audit, the auditors were of the view that certain invoices were not available to substantiate the payments which were made. And following that, these documentations have been provided to the district office. And as I sit here, I can confirm that all the invoices have been submitted. In addition to that, we have strengthened the processes of pre-audits before payments are made by the accountants or the medical superintendent, and also to ensure that all the necessary documentation are attached to the PV before the checks are paid to the suppliers. Thank you, Honorable Chair.
So your claim is that the document have been submitted to the district office of the Ghana Audit Service. Kindly use the mic because we are recording. Audit Service, the claim is that all the documents have been submitted to your office. And you're saying that you have the issues are outstanding. What should be the reason that your updates is a bit old, or which means that you have not received current updates, or your officers? Yeah, that should be the option.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. There are several health facilities in the affected region, and we have received information from most of them. So the ones we are pointing out as outstanding, it means that the health facilities did not provide the needed information to our officers, and that is why the lapse occurred here.
Regional Director, what did you submit to the audit office?
So, Honorable Chair, the documents were submitted a week ago.
A week ago?
Yes, please, Honorable Chair.
Oh.
And they have not seen the documents.
They will see them.
No, men's.
Regional Director, since the documents were submitted a week ago, can you tell us how many PVs were involved?
Thank you, Honorable Chair. There were a number of PVs involved, and we have the Regional Internal Auditor for Jabuso Hospital who would like to give details to that, if you would permit. Thank you.
So he should be able to answer my question. Can
Yes,
you bring,
please,
can you bring
Honorable
him
Chair.
or her?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm the internal auditor of Jabuso Hospital. The PVs were supported Please let me explain further.
How many PVs were presented a week ago?
Please, it was a number of PVs. You know, the audit covered the period of 2016 to 2019.
What's your name? What's your name? We are recording, so we want to have your name recorded.
Please, I'm Abdullah Yakubu. Yes, please.
Now answer my question. How many PVs were presented a week ago? I don't like a number of them.
Please, the exact figure I will not be able to tell. Well, because it was a special audit from 2016 to 2019. So it involves a lot of PVs. So,
but
yes.
You are the internal auditor.
Yes, please.
And you've been there for how long?
I've been there for about 2 years now, please.
2 years now?
Yes, please.
And PVs with face value of 936,000. You didn't see anything wrong. Didn't you say them before you presented them?
Please, the bone of contention was that the invoices that were attached were VAT invoices. But the auditors insisted that apart from the VAT invoice, we were supposed to have supported the PVs with the supplier's invoice. So that was where the issues were. All those PVs were supported with VAT invoices. But apart from the VAT invoices, the auditors insisted that we should have added.
So what have you supported? What have you presented to them now? Is it still the same VAT invoices, or you have now gotten supplier's invoice?
We've added the supplier's invoice now.
Did you have them all along?
No, please.
You went around. How many PVs? Because you see, that is very important for me. You went around to collect all the invoices. How many of them? About 100 or 20 or 40? Give me an idea.
Oh, it will be more than 100 because of the period of the audit from 2016 to 2019. So it involves more than 100 PVs.
And you didn't have these invoices on your file.
No,
but you are able to, please listen to me, you are able to mobilize all the invoices, over 100, and presented them a week ago. Your story is too good.
Please, during the procurement processes, the suppliers did give their pro forma invoices for those transactions. But during the payment, we thought the VAT invoice alone was enough for the payment. But the auditors added that apart from the pro forma invoice that was used for the procurement processes, we should have also added the supplier's invoice to the VAT invoice.
You are saying that the supplier invoices were in your custody, but you didn't provide them when the auditors asked for them. That's what you are saying.
No, please. What I'm saying is that the pro forma invoices were given out during the procurement processes.
Out.
Yeah,
and you didn't have them on your files.
No, they were on the files of the.
So if that is what the auditors wanted, why didn't you just give it to them to avoid all this trouble until they left the place and you provided them a week ago?
We were not also around. So when the
please,
when
it's
we
okay.
Came in,
it's okay. Chairman, I'm done.
Chairman.
No. Because they've submitted the document only a week ago, it means that the update from the audit service is right. They couldn't have given us any current apart from what they did. So we are asking that, Mr. Doku, you ask your district office to work on the document and give feedback. Only 2 weeks should be sufficient for them to work on it.
Thank you, Honorable Chair.
The next one is half a senior government hospital. 5 PVs unsupported. So you are discharged, Regional Director for
Thank you, Honorable Chair.
Western North. Half a senior government hospital, 5 PVs unsupported, 33,504 Ghana cedis.
Mr. Chairman, that is also outstanding.
Outstanding. Do we have Hafasini Government Hospital? Are you here? Half Asini, are you here? Please come.
Regional Director is here, sir.
Regional Director is here. Now, kindly introduce yourself and respond to the question if you have submitted the document to the audit service.
I'm Dr. Yao Oforiabwa, the Regional Director of Health Service, Western.
Solomon Tome. Solomon Tome, Regional Internal Auditor, Western.
Yeah, so the question is that 5 PVs were not supported. Do you not have the supporting document for the PVs, and have you given them to the auditors for verification?
Yes, please. The auditors came for a follow-up visit, a follow-up verification exercise, and declared an amount of 31,504 per the status report, per Ghana Audit Service status report. So leaving an outstanding amount of 2,200. Directorate directed management of the hospital to pay the outstanding amount back to chest, and that one has been done. Official receipts and bank statements are there to substantiate the transfer.
Auditors are aware of that?
Yes, please. We have.
When?
We have submitted it to.
When?
That was, I think, 3 months ago, please.
3 months ago. Are you sure?
Yes, please. I'm sure.
Mr. Doku, your updates would have covered the 3 months ago. Or
thank you, Honorable Chair. We'll give them the benefit of the doubt and then follow it up and apprise the committee with the status. So I believe we should include it in the items that will follow up. Thank you.
so the document are to be verified and reported on. Thank you very much. Go back. Let's have the next one. District Health Directorates and Health Insurance, Bia East and Bibiani. Bia East and Bibiani, 5 PVs unsupported, 79,000 and 2 Ghana cedis, 38 pesos. Sodokun.
Mr. Chairman, that is also outstanding per our records. Thank you.
Hey, Western and Western North, your performance is not good. So let's have the District Health Director. Do we have?
Mr. Chairman,
yes, Mr. Dokun.
This is for the National Health Insurance Authority, not Ghana Health Service.
No, but he said District Health Directorates and Health Insurance. They are 2 put together.
Yes, Chairman.
Bia East and Bibiani.
Yes.
So there is a District Health Directorate involved. Or is it for health insurance?
It's correct.
There's a health directorate. Yes.
Mr. Chairman, I believe we'll have to reconcile this one too. Thank you.
And the last one, Agona West Municipal Directorates, Agona Swedru. Amount involved 8,527 Ghana cedis, 83 pesos.
So that has been duly verified. Thank you.
All right, so that ends this question. That's only one question, one infraction. So you can see the long way we are going today. The next one is Pantan Hospital. And that is revenue paid, not paid into drug account. 11,940 Ghana cedis. Now, the auditors have recommended that the heads of the BMC and finance should ensure that the total amount is paid into the drug account. What have been done about that?
6 wasn't clear.
So, Director General, Pantan Hospital, or is under ministry?
Yeah.
Yeah, so Ministry of Health. Director of Pantan Hospital, have you paid the money back to the drug account?
Honorable Chairman.
Kindly mention your name, please.
My name is Frank Benin, and I'm the facility head.
Okay.
So, this particular problem was something that I inherited at the time I was taking over. So I informed my mother agency, and a special audit was commissioned to look into it. And my understanding is that thereafter it was referred to Yoko. So as far as I'm concerned, this is something that has been dealt with by the Mental Health Authority.
Do you have any evidence to that effect?
I have letters that we've made available to the audit service on our correspondence with the Mental Health Authority.
Okay. Auditors, have you cited any evidence that the issue has been resolved?
Honorable, the issue is still outstanding. We've not had any correspondence to that effect yet.
Director, do you have the correspondence, the issue that you have them here? And you claim that you have given them to the auditors. Which of the auditors?
To the audit service. This is the document we sent to them. And
Okay.
it contained all those.
Where? Audit service, which office?
That will be the head office.
Come again. Come again.
No.
I said, which office?
That will be the head office.
That will be.
Yes, please.
No, that is not a good answer.
So
that's not a good answer.
Usually, we would address it to those who come to do the audit at our place.
Yeah.
Yes. And they also come to actually verify.
Yeah.
And collect the documents.
Yeah.
And we have evidence that all those things have been made available.
So you don't know exactly the auditors who you gave the document to verify?
I won't have their name immediately, but it's something that we can make available.
Okay, so make that document available to the auditors. Let them look at it, and then they will know the auditors who have worked on it, and they will get a confirmation.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
All right, so do that now, then you can be discharged. We'll go to the next one, paragraph 193, Honorable Ranking Member.
Thank you, Chairman. Here, the infraction is that Kaneshi Polyclinic engaged Zenith Bank to be collecting fees and other monies on behalf of the polyclinic. In 2017 and 2018, a total amount of 135,958 Ghana cedis was collected, but the bank failed to credit those amounts into the accounts of Kaneshi Polyclinic. The auditors are recommending that the amount should be credited to the accounts, follow which, in fact, the amount should be credited to the accounts with interest. I want to know whether that directive has been carried out by the medical director.
Yeah, thank you very much, Honorable. We'll get, I think this is an issue we discussed even in the last 2018 issue. We have some updates that the Director of Finance will give to the committee on where we are as far as that issue is concerned.
Honorable Chair, so initially there was a discrepancy between the bank and the hospital or the polyclinic. So we did a reconciliation. Actually, we are now done with the reconciliation, and the amount we have established is now 138,187 Ghana cedis, 42 pesos. That's what we have established. We've communicated this to the bank via email, because even as we were doing the reconciliation, we were communicating to them. And this is where we are on this matter. So now we've established the exact amount. The discrepancy has been resolved, and where we are is for them to pay the money.
Have you said you have established the discrepancy. You have established that with the bank.
Yes, sir, because we picked information from them with which we were working.
And they have not paid any amount up to now.
In fact, we had a report, the final report on this issue from the hospital on 5th July. That was somewhere last week. That we had a letter from the Kaneshi Polyclinic to the Director General on the reconciliation and the conclusion of it. So DG is now going to pursue with the bank.
No, it's not good enough. 8th July.
5th July.
Last year.
No, this year. This year.
It's still not good enough. If it were your own money, this is 2019 report. So you've had it maybe from 2020. And there's this simple matter of crediting your account, money that your bank has collected. It's still unresolved.
Honorable Chair, I think the last time we came here, this issue came up.
That is why it should have been resolved by now.
And the last time we came here, we actually promised that because of the volume of transactions involved, the committee should give us up to, I think, 30th June to complete with the reconciliation. If my
30th June?
Yes, this year.
And we are in July.
And we have been able to actually meet this deadline. And we had the report from the polyclinic.
What we are interested in is getting your money. And that is what the auditors recommended. And they said that if you don't get it, the medical director might be surcharged. You know, it is your responsibility to make sure that money are checked on a daily basis. A daily basis. You check and make sure that everything has been credited on every day. So if you don't do it, and for maybe 3 or 4 years, the amount is still with the bank. And the interest and everything. That's why if it's your own money, would you have been sleeping on it like this? So Chairman is not here, but I think that I will give you 2 weeks to ensure that the money is credited to your account and feed the Auditor General with the information. Thank you.
Honorable, if I may say,
yeah,
I think this is not because they were not collecting. It was because there is a dispute between them and the bank as to the figures. It's now that we've been able to do the reconciliation. It's taken a long time. These are individual transactions that have been verified. We just finished that. So the next thing for the bank to accept and now make the transfer to the listening. So we are hoping that within this period, the bank should, unless they have additional disputes over it, they should pay. Because we know we don't have anything because we've been working daily basis, taking their data and our data to do the reconciliation.
You said there's no dispute and that you have agreed. Do you have any communication from the bank to that effect?
No,
especially about the new amount? Because if I heard you right, it's actually increased.
Yes, we
have the bank communicated formally to you that this is the case and that they'll be paying it?
They are yet to communicate. We have been working with them. I said that from the period that we are having this issue, it was so because there was a dispute between theirs and now. They've done the reconciliation. We have now submitted the final figure to the bank.
Come back and say that this is not the figure. Because you don't have, you started by saying you have agreed with them. But I wanted documentary evidence that you have actually agreed with them and the dispute has been resolved.
We have established the discrepancy and we work with them. We have now submitted to them. We are waiting for their response to pay.
Anyway, so would you be able to make sure this thing is paid in 2 weeks as I'm asking you for? Would you be able to come and ensure that it will be paid in 2 weeks now that we have agreed with the bank?
We should be able to. I'm sure they are also listening to this recording.
What answer is that?
Yes, we will.
It's your money, it's not the bank, it's your money. So you say they are listening,
No, say we are, because that's what we have agreed. And we've done the reconciliation with them. And that is the final figure that we have submitted to them. This is how much you are supposed to pay for us. We have not heard from them, but we are following up to make sure that
so then you have not agreed. You have not heard from them, so you have not agreed.
After reconciling with them, we have been working together. So this is the final figure. Now the thing is, we are giving you, this is how much the difference is. Please make the refunds. And that's why we have not heard from them.
Well, Chairman, I'll defer to you. I think that they should pay the money. Yes.
I didn't listen to anything, so.
Huh?
I didn't listen to it.
Yeah. So if you have agreed with them, my directive still stands. Within 2 weeks, make sure they pay you and advise the auditors. Once you say you have agreed with them, with the reconciliation, there should be no problem in crediting your account. Thank you. Chairman, you may discharge them.
All right, so let's have the next one, paragraph 198. Honorable Kofi Adams.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. So from revenue not being paid to drag account to uncredited revenue, now to misapplication of funds. I don't know who will take this one, but the auditors in their audit of your books came across this infraction where funds, especially funds meant the drug fund, has been used for other purposes other than what it was intended for. You also used 6,000 of other funds in other areas that is not supposed to be used for. And this involved 17 of your BMCs. Indeed, the amount involved in terms of the drug fund alone was 756,142 Ghana cedi, 43 pesos. And that is so huge an amount considering the fact that this is a fund dedicated for drug. I want to find out what is the situation as far as this finding is concerned, and whether you thought there was any justification whatsoever in doing so.
Honorable, but there is no justification. That is why they are here. If not, so your first question is very, very relevant.
I've asked you to.
Okay, Honorable Chair, thank you very much. The situation now is that all the BMCs have refunded the money from the service account back into the drug account, with the exception of Mamprobi Polyclinic, who were actually given approval by the higher authorities to use the drug fund because of the peculiar nature of the the situation. And if I can go on, the land on which Mamprobi Polyclinic is situated, the landowners actually made a claim that they have not been properly or adequately compensated. And this has been a running issue for a very long time, I think since 2014 or so. So finally, the ministry directed that the Ghana Health Service and Mamprobi, the BMC for that matter, should settle the amount. The amount involved was 450,000 Ghana cedis thereabout. And actually, we don't have a budget for these things. So we also directed the hospital to use their internally generated fund in the first place to agree on a payment schedule with the landowners, which will be such that it will not affect the capital of the facility significantly. So they arranged on a payment schedule to pay 25,000 Ghana cedis, I think every month, every quarter, over a period. And that is what they have been paying. And they pay from both the services and the drugs accounts. And it is the drug component which the auditors have captured here. Thank you.
It was in relation to the Mamprobi. That was why I asked my second question, Mr. Chairman, because I saw that in there earlier. But I want to find out, don't you think the drug fund should not be a fund that should be touched for such purposes? As a ministry responsible for health, and for that matter, Ghana Health Services, do you think drug fund, when you have to look for other sources to pay such a thing, that should be the fund that should be touched for that purpose? And whether currently we still have such a situation where this fund is used for
There's too much noise at the background, please.
Any other purpose other than what it is intended for?
Okay, Mr. Chairman, so yes, we agree. The drug fund, and actually that is the case, is not supposed to be used for any other purpose apart from expenditures which are drug related and which are directly related to the operations of the pharmacy. So for example, if they buy a fridge or an air conditioner for the pharmacy stores, we encourage that it should be paid from the drug fund. This particular issue, because of the payment terms plan which was agreed with the landowners, they had to make some of the payments from the drug account. But these are advances which they would subsequently pay from the service account. But given the payment plan, they couldn't have paid, met the payment plan or the schedule solely from the services within the period. So subsequently, when they are done with the landowners, they would refund all these monies from which they have paid from the drug account, from the service account over time. Thank you.
So are they done with the landowners now?
I think from our last check, they were left with about 100,000. But in fact, the landowners came again. That was an earlier valuation. And so apart from the 450,000, they are asking for 166,000. Again, the ministry has directed that Ghana Health Service should pay. So that one, we are yet to agree on a payment schedule with the landowners, and then from headquarters, but it will take time, but we hope to pay, because we can't overburden the hospital. These are services they are providing, and actually it's a very serious challenge for the hospital, using even service funds to pay for the land, which I think Ministry of Finance or government for that matter should have paid for. But that is the situation. Thank you.
Chief Director, don't you think it's been long overdue that the ministry should have a budget line to take care of this item instead of pushing it onto Ghana Health Services and by extension to the facility to pay for the land? Don't you think that the ministry should by now, if in the first year, because of the agreement they went into, they thought that, okay, let's look for something to hold the landowners. But after that, shouldn't the ministry now have a budget line to take care of this item instead of pushing it to the Ghana Health Services and by extension this health facility?
Mr. Chairman, I think so.
Oh, will you promise the committee that you would take this burden of, because it's affecting their delivery, it's seriously affecting their delivery. I should think that this should have been done even before coming here.
Mr. Chairman, we will do that, but we can't promise because we don't hold the purse. We can put it in our budget, but if the Minister of Finance does not make resources available, we are found, excuse me to say, pants down. But we will impress it upon the Ministry of Finance that these are things that have to be paid by central government and not by the facilities.
Auditors, well, we budget, we draw budget because we expect to follow them. So we want to appeal to the ministries, especially Ministry of Finance, to make do with the budget that we approve in Parliament here. Auditors, can you confirm the submission that these funds have been redirected to the appropriate funds, except the case of Mamprobi Polyclinic that we have been talking about?
Thank you, Honorable. I think in respect of the Mamprobi, out of the 141,096,000, 114,546 has been transferred into the account, leaving 26,550 yet to be transferred. But for Pantang, the whole amount has been transferred into this drug account.
At Kase. What about? Or you are still checking?
Mr. Chairman, the Kase Health Center is still outstanding. Anyamam is outstanding. Boni Kope is also outstanding. Obum has paid back. Diaso has paid back. Winneba has also refunded. Ejikwa Health Center has also refunded amount. Atimokwa Health Center is outstanding. Commander has paid back. Ankafo has also paid back. Kintampo, we don't have information on that. Kintampo and Sekwa, we don't have information on that. Bando has refunded. Sefiu also Government Hospital, 175,000 cedis has been paid back, leaving a balance of 129,846.94. Hafasini Government Hospital is still outstanding. Thank you.
Chief Accountant, you said all the other ones have had refunds to the drug account, but the responses from the auditors shows that Sefiu also, for example, still we have 125,000 plus outstanding. No information from Sekwa, 26,000 plus. Kintampo 2,000 plus, no information. And Anyaman Health Center, 20,000, no information. Kase is still outstanding. And Bonikope is also outstanding. What do you say to these ones? Or that one too was done just last week?
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. I think we'll start from Sefiu also. Actually, it is the case that Sefiu also is not completely paid. They've done a standing order of 12,000 every month from the service account into the drug account, which we are hoping that they would finish the payment by July 2023. The rest of them actually have been paid. So Kase Health Center has been paid. We have the total amount of 52,090.7 was fully recovered from the drug account. I think we have a receipt for that, which we have attached as an appendix.
How much did you say, Kase?
Kase Health Center. Yes, 52,090.97 is being paid back. Anyaman Health Center is being paid back.
I think that the auditors have also confirmed those ones.
No, those were the ones they said.
They didn't confirm them.
Yeah. At the Mokwa Health Center is being paid back. In fact, all of them have been paid apart from the one which is ongoing and the Sefiu also. So it may be an issue of reconciliation. And we actually attached evidence of the payments as appendices to the report we brought here.
Okay, Mr. Chairman, I think there's need for some reconciliation. And for the Sefiu also, they say there's an arrangement to pay hopefully by July 2023. I don't know whether that is satisfactory, so I leave it for your judgment. Thank you.
All right, so I think that once they make that arrangement, we'll have to accept it. But they should ensure that they honor that arrangement so that by July next year, they would have transferred money to the drug account from the service one. So we'll do that. The next one is the auditors should do the reconciliation on those that the claims that they have made full payment or full transfer to the drug account. So, Mr. Duku, this is one of the outstanding issues to handle.
Thank you, Honorable Chairman.
The next one.
Chairman, but the Mamprobi Polyclinic on the land issue that they continue to push the payment burden on the health facility with the revelation that the landowners are now demanding another 160-something thousand. Yeah. I don't know what this committee can do.
We can only advise that the ministry reconsider pushing the cost to the facility all the time. The ministry should find ways of getting the money to pay this landowner. And don't forget the Agenda 111 also built on lands. And I'm sure that the cost of the land would have included compensation if there's any. So in future we don't have a similar situation where you will be pushing the cost of compensation to the hospital. So, Chief Director, the lesson from Mamprobi should guide us in any future hospital that we are putting up. But we advise that the ministry do something about the Mamprobi one.
Mr. Chairman, thank you very much. We've taken note and we will do the best that we can to resolve this.
Thank you very much. Let's move to the next one, paragraph 202. Honorable Bauer.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, the infraction on paragraph 202 is inappropriate payment of legal fees. The auditors observed that an amount of 24,000 Ghana cedis was paid to the council for Dr. Justina Owusu, the CEO of the National Blood Service, as legal service fees for entering appearance and conducting a defense of defamation, negligence, and compensation case. The auditors observed that these legal fees should have been borne by Dr. Justina Ansah herself, because it was a private case, not involving the National Blood Service. So, in view of that, the recommendation was that management should ensure that the head of finance recovers the money from Dr. Justina Ansah and pays him to the consolidated fund. I'd like to find out whether this recommendation of the auditors have been carried out.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, it has.
Auditors, can you confirm whether these monies have been recovered from the said doctor and paid into the consolidated fund?
Honorable Chair, the amount has been paid, personally paid by doctor, and all the receipts verified.
Mr. Chairman, that will be all for me. The money has been recovered. So.
All right, thank you very much. Let's move to the next one, paragraph 20. Bauer, continue to 206.
Thank you, Mr. 206. Paragraph 206 relates to goods not supplied, payment for goods not supplied. And the auditor's review of store records of 4 institutions show that between January 2018 and 2019, payments totaling 129,701 Ghana cedis were made to 8 suppliers for the supply of drugs and non-drug items. However, these goods were not supplied, and the details have been provided in the table. And the recommendation is that the directors of the institutions, namely the District Health Directorate, DSO, District Health Directorate, DSO again, Health Directorate Abura Dunkwao, and then Krobo Nursing Training College, Techimai, should recover a total amount of 111,484 from the suppliers and pay him into the consolidated fund. I would like to find out whether this recommendation has been carried out.
Chairman, for the first one for DSO, that's the 82,000. The recommendation of the auditors is being implemented, and the money is actually being recovered from the director then, who has been actually demoted because of this issue. And so far, an amount of 41,000 has been paid by him, and he has a standing order which he is paying monthly for the rest of the money. That's 41,000. The second one again for Diaso. The drugs were actually supplied and received by the facility at the time. However, they didn't, in doing the entries in the books, they did not enter them onto the tally cards. So that's what happened. And later they made the entries to correct the anomaly. And they have a store's receipt advice and the tally card numbers all there to show as evidence that the items were actually supplied to the facility. So that's for Diaso.
Next one.
I think the next one is Abra Dunkwa. No, that's not. For Abra Dunkwa, we don't have this observation in their management letter for the period. So they said the observation was not captured in the management letter issued by the audit service with reference number for that period. For that's 2019.
We are exempt.
So the other one I think is a training college, and that one with the ministry.
It's Krobo Training College.
Okay.
Techimai.
Mr. Chair, we've had interactions with management, and they had actually updated the district office with 2 of the 5 supplies have been refunded at a total of 4228.33, including interest, and the remaining 3 had been supplied. The paying slips had been provided. I think the auditors will speak to it. Thank you.
Issues have not been fully dealt with, and I would like to find out from you whether the drugs for Diaso Health Center, let me find out from the auditors whether that one has been fully cleared, because that's the one that I feel that we can say has been fully complied with, if what we are hearing is correct. Diaso Health Center.
Thank you, Honorable Chairman. The information we have is that there's a balance of 42,051 cedis, 77 pesos still outstanding.
For which? That's the district health directorate.
The drugs have been fully supplied per the records available to us. So,
Mr. Doku, the Diaso, we have 2 issues.
Yes.
One is with the health directorate, and the other is with the health center. So the health directorate, that's the one you are saying, the balance of 42,000. 42,000.
Yeah, 42,051 cedis, 77 pesos.
Outstanding.
Yes, outstanding. And the supplier is Meditrust Company Limited and Women's Memorial Enterprise. So they have to supply the outstanding items or payback. Now, with respect to the health center, the information we have is that drugs totaling 8,433 pesos and 6 have all been supplied fully.
They are saying that Abra Dunka, the 21,000, the health directorate is saying it wasn't captured in their management letter.
With respect, Mr. Chairman, we have information to the contrary. Our district office provides us with SRA numbers and the item supplies, including hospital beds, which were duly received on the 18th of July 2019.
Then it means the Abradukwa did not, Director of Finance. Are they, Abradukwa, are they here?
They are not here, but so if the SRA is 18th July, actually it means it was after the audit. So they are right that the audit report did not capture this issue because the audit report is 3rd July. They received the audit report on the 3rd of July. Yes.
So,
that was after they received the audit.
So, Mr. Doku, what is the status of this infraction?
Mr. Chairman, our position remains the same, that this was an infraction cited against the District Health Directorate, Abrodunkwa, and the anomaly has been remedied. Thank you.
And Director of Finance, the Nursing Training College, the chairman, what you have said, I would like to find out from the auditors. They are claiming 4,223 has been paid out of the 18,216. Can you confirm?
Thank you, Honorable Chair. Our information is that the entire amount of 18,216.48 pesos has been paid back. Thank you.
Has been paid back?
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
Then the Ghana service is not even, you have not been briefed sufficiently by your...
That is not part of, that's not Ghana Health Service. The institutions are not under Ghana Health Service, they're under the ministry, so it's the ministry. That's why the Director of Finance responded.
So the unresolved issue now is the Abrodunkwa one and the District Directorate DIASU. These are two unresolved, completely unresolved issues. Mr. Doku.
Mr. Chairman, the Abrodunkwa, the issue has been fully resolved. The only outstanding issue here has to do with the District Health Directorate DIASU, with the balance of 42,051 pesos to be either accounted for by way of drags or refunded. Thank you.
Chairman, the only outstanding issue now is with the District Health Directorate DIASU with an outstanding amount of 42,000. So, waiting for your judgment.
I think that down to the arrangement had been made for the transfer into the drug account. So that arrangement should be followed. All right. So we have an announcement. If you have your car key missing, can you see me for it? You tell me the nature of the car key and the vehicle made, the brand, so that we know if you are truly, the car key truly belongs to you. All right, thank you. Let's move on to...
Chairman.
Yes.
Information, please.
Come again.
We have information to share.
Yes.
The DSO matter, the person involved is being made to pay. So he's had a standing order, which is paying every month to
yes.
And as we said, that person was a district director, has been removed and also been removed. He's also been demoted as a punishment for that. But these are challenges we are addressing because of the capacity at those levels.
Yeah. All right. Thank you very much. So the next one is paragraph 209. Aguna West, Municipal Health Directorate, Aguna Swedru, unretired impress, 37,159 Ghana cedis. Now the auditors have advised management to ensure that the total amount is recovered from the beneficiaries and same paid into the consolidated fund Can you give us the update on this? Aguna West Municipal Health Directorate. Has the money been recovered and paid to the appropriate account? Yes.
Mr. Chairman, these were program funds.
Okay.
The monies had been given to the sub-districts by the Municipal Directorate. So at the time of the audit, these are MCHIP funds. So it's given for, I think, a quarter or some semester. So at the time of the audit, the program was still ongoing. So subsequently, when the program came to an end, the sub-district submitted the statements of expenditure to the Municipal Health Directorate. And this, from the feedback we have been submitted to the auditors. Thank you.
Auditors, have you verified this?
Mr. Chairman, that transaction has been fully verified. The amount has been retired. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Let's move to the next one. Municipal Health Directorate, Kibi. Uncredited checks, 44,348 Ghana cedis. So some checks numbering about 10 were not credited to the accounts of the directorates. So the auditors recommended to management to follow up to the bank to ascertain the cause of the anomaly. They also urged management to exercise control, strong oversight on accounting officers to ensure that regular reconciliations are performed to detect such anomalies in the future. So can you update us if the checks, the total amount has been credited, and if you now do regular reconciliation? Director General.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. Yes, actually, we do regular reconciliation every month. But these were actually on deposited cash. But they were on deposited cash. You know, at the end of every month or every day, there will be an amount of undeposited cash which is supposed to be deposited within 24 hours following day. So, in this particular case, the auditor picked the end month undeposited cash for a certain period and added them. So we've subsequently resolved the issue. As at 31st December, the undeposited cash was 2,105, and that was paid in January. And this has been, from the feedback we have been confirmed by the auditor.
No, this one is talking about uncredited checks.
Yes, but
so it means that the checks have been deposited, but the bank did not credit the account.
But the feedback was that they were not uncredited checks, but they were rather undeposited checks, undeposited cash.
Oh, okay. So auditors, can you confirm this?
Honorable Chairman, we have information to the contrary. What we have received from the Koforidua office is that they received payment bank statements submitted by the facility, but they were unable to directly identify the individual amount from the bank statements provided.
Which means that the issue is not resolved. But I'm sure that your office will have detailed information on the transactions.
Absolutely, Chairman.
Dates the checks were paid into the bank, the check numbers, all those information will be available. Do we have the director here?
We have the Deputy Director of Finance for the Eastern region here. He says
okay.
he wants to provide some further background.
Sure. Kindly introduce yourself.
I am Michael, Chairman, sir.
We are in the afternoon now.
Sorry, good afternoon. I think the issue was uncredited checks. But the problem was rather from the auditor. He added monthly figures of uncredited checks for a period of 10 months and put it there. And these checks were being cleared month by month. That is just a problem.
Means that January 2018, the uncredited is 4,321 Ghana cedis, 40 pesos.
Yes, sir.
He captured it as uncredited.
And
when you go to February, he will not verify if it has been credited in February.
Yes.
Then he will pick that of the February.
Yes, sir.
Without doing, okay. Zodoku.
Mr. Chairman, with your permission, I'd like to refer you to the table in support of this infraction and paragraph 214. And you would notice that the claim made by the director cannot be accepted, because if that were the case, the figure for February would not reduce. And then when you come to May, the figure also reduces to 3,000. When you come to July, it reduces to 1,829. From the assertion he made, what he was trying to say is that our colleagues kept adding figures, but that is not what is represented in the report. Thank you.
Now, Mr. Doku, if you read the same 214 paragraph, it says that we noted during our re-performance of the bank reconciliation that between the period January 2018 and September 2018, 10 checks with a total value of 44,348.25 Ghana cedi. But if you look at the table, they are between January and November, not September. You see?
I agree, Chairman, but this can be reconciled. Thank you.
So what they are saying can also be reconciled.
Absolutely, Chairman, I agree. And so the way to go is to reconcile. Thank you.
So you have to go and reconcile the whole thing to establish the actual amount that has not been credited. And then we can ask the bank to credit the amounts. All right, so we'll move to paragraph 217. Honorable Aka, paragraph 217.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. An amount of 66,966.48 was being deducted from the emoluments of 12 staff as SNIT contribution. However, you paid only 44,614.28, leaving a balance of 22,352.20. I would like to know if this money has been credited to the recipient's accounts with the SNIT. Thank you. Shall I read it? Cape Coast Teaching Hospital.
Mr. Chairman, understanding is that the money has been paid.
Okay, auditors, can you confirm if 22,352 has been paid in favor of the workers?
Mr. Chairman, that has been paid and verified. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you very much. Let's move to the next one. Honorable Opogo, can you take that of paragraph 220 to 228?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, the infraction here is failure to meet bond terms amounting to 102,924. Mr. Chairman, the Auditor General noted that Dr. Gloria Nanaya Ejapon was paid an amount of 217,009 Ghana cedis, 29 pesos, as total cost of 3-year full-time study leave with pay to pursue a PhD program. Dr. Nanaya Ejapon resumed work on 26 August 2015 and served only 33 months instead of 60 months, that is 5-year bond term, and resigned on 7th May 2018 from the Center for Plant Medicine Research, leaving a bond obligation period of 27 months. And Chairman, that translates to a default of 97,654 cedis, 18 pesos. The Auditor General further noted that he was paid unearned salary of 5,269.58 pesos in May 2018 after her resignation. So we want to find out whether these monies have been requested from Dr. Ejapon.
Thank you, Chairman. In respect of, I'll take the unearned salary first. In respect of the unearned salary, the period of resignation and the period for which the payment of salary was supposed to have been stopped was affected. In fact, that is why we were able to pay only a month, but we are pursuing that one as well. What we've done is to highlight the whole issue, and because it was a bond issue and a trust issue, we had invoked the authority to cite the guarantors as a first option for the payments to be made. In fact, trying to get them was a challenge, and I think management had upped the issue to the courts to get the guarantors to make due of what she's supposed to pay. Thank you.
But have you written to Dr. Ejapon for a refund?
Yes.
I think that should be the first option before you fall on the guarantors.
In fact, it's the difficulty of getting her to come forward to do it. That's
have you written to her? Yes, according to the auditor's report, she's at Mampong Plant Medicine Research. So it should be difficult to locate.
Actually, we were expecting them to have been here, even though we've interacted with them and they gave us this information. We wanted them to have come themselves.
Expecting who?
The management from Mampong Center for...
But my question is, have you written to Dr. Gloria Nanaya Ejapon for a refund?
Mr. Chair, the processes to get the doctor had been unsuccessful. That pushed us to get to the guarantors instead.
You mean the lady is nowhere to be traced or what?
Yes.
Because according to the report, he's at Plant Medicine. Mampong is not too far away from here.
No, that was where she resigned.
He's now in New Zealand. Okay, so and what is the response from the guarantors?
That is I think it's becoming a legal tussle. So it's presently there are processes at the High Court to get them to fulfill the bond terms.
So as at now, no monies have been recovered whatsoever?
Not as we are aware.
Her letter of resignation, was it accepted by management?
We, at the ministry level, we had not gone into those administrative issues.
The response from the ministry is that the Dr. Gloria Nana Ya Japan, who was granted study leave, 3-year study leave, he resumed and served for only 33 months instead of 60 months. So that translates into 97,654. And the month that he resigned, he was paid a monthly salary of 5,269,000. So the two put together would be 102,924. As we speak, the lady is not in the country, so they have contacted the guarantors, and they are not making any progress. So the case has been, it's gone to courts. Is that the correct position?
Yes, it can't be raised.
The lady cannot be raised.
Yes. That's why we are targeting the guarantors.
You are now targeting?
No, we have. Processes had already been initiated at the High Court to get them to fulfill the bond.
As the guarantor being reached, you said you started contacting them. Have you met them or have they appeared in court?
The center had notified us that they had issued writs of summons. As to whether they had been rigged by the bailiff, we cannot confirm immediately.
When was that done? When was that?
I don't want to hazard, but that should be Mampong.
No, I say when. Do you have the Mampong director here?
We were expecting them to come. They had not come. We are bringing the documents to certify, sir.
That is the center.
Yeah.
Because we need to know when that was done. And once, if they get the guarantor, they should be able to get even the lady herself. That is the point I want to drive at. So,
Mr. Chair, we have taken a serious view of the recommendations that the auditors made. That's why management stepped up.
So we will also uphold the recommendation of the auditors that the money should be recovered. So all efforts to recover the money should be done by the ministry.
Thank you.
But we'll be not grateful. We are asking the ministry to update us what they have reached now in 2 weeks. If it's legal action, what stage they have reached in the process, should update the committee in 2 weeks so that we can also report on that in our report. Thank you. So the next one, paragraph 225.
Mr. Chairman, before I go to 225, I wanted to know whether it is possible to place an embargo on her entitlements.
Whose entitlement?
The lady's entitlement.
Who?
The one who has absconded.
No, she's no more working for government.
No, but she worked for some time.
Or you mean that if there's any back pay?
Yes. No.
Well, if there's any back money that she's entitled, that money can easily be put on hold, and deduction is done. If that is something can be done, if she has any entitlement to the hospital, it's the easiest way to get the money back.
Grateful. Chair.
Okay. Mr. Chairman, this infraction on paragraph 225 is on payment of end of service benefits without approval. Mr. Chairman, the auditors observed during their review that the Executive Director, Professor Augustine Oklu, approved and paid an amount of 42,954 Ghana cedis, 56 Ghana pesos, per payment voucher 14,748 to himself as end of service benefits while he was still in service. Mr. Chairman, this is very serious. Yes, through himself. The Auditor General recommends that the Director should refund the total amount of 42,954.56 into the consolidated fund. Mr. Chairman, I want to find out whether that has been done.
Mr. Chairman, thank you very much. I think Section 225 of the management letter acknowledges that officers of the CSRPM are entitled to some end of service benefit or ex gratia when they retire, provided they are not dismissed. Professor Augustine Oklu was indeed paid those monies, but the latest is that on 2020, 16th of December 2020, a retrospective approval was given by the board in a letter dated that as the end of service benefit to the professor. And I think that is the position. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, it's not clear because end of service benefit is end of service. This payment was made whilst he was still in service. Normally, as far as I know, after retirement, it will take a while before the processes will be completed. So I'm wondering how this payment was paid whilst the professor was still in active service. And may we also know where the professor is currently?
He's now retired. Mr. Chairman, the professor, I think they ran a 4-year term, and he's retired now.
No, his whereabouts
exactly
now?
No.
You don't?
No.
When did he retire? When?
About 4 years ago.
About 4 years ago. Let's count it. We're in 2022, July. So 2021 July is 1 year.
Mr. Chairman, we will finish.
2020 July is 2 years. 2019 July is 3 years.
We will finish with the details.
July 2018 is 4 years. So you could have retired about 4 years ago.
We will finish with the details, Mr. Chairman.
2018.
We should take this committee serious. You are under oath. And if you are not sure of, a response, why do you give it? Chairman, I asked that he should retract what he said.
to set the records right. And let's take this committee serious. Okay?
Respectfully, I retract with apologies. Thank you.
So I'm not sure you have all the facts, whether at the time the ESB was paid to him, he was still in service, because the audit report says he was still in service when the money was paid to him. You don't have the facts about that. That is why the director at the place would have been the appropriate person to provide the facts. But you're saying that he has paid the money back. He has refunded the money? He hasn't. But it was given a retrospective approval by the board. So if we know when he was supposed to retire, assuming at the time he was paid the money was the time he was entitled to that money, we will not have any issue. But if he was supposed to receive that money maybe a year later, but he received a year earlier, then he might be benefiting in terms of some value. Okay? And then also, whether the calculation was done up to the time he received it, or it was done up to the time he was supposed to receive, which is in the future. That is all we're supposed to know. But approval has been given, so let's go by that. So let's move on. Auditors, have you cited the approval?
Thank you, Honorable Chairman. Our information is that some correspondence has been sent from the center to the Honorable Minister for necessary action. And the reference letter of that, reference number of that letter is quoted here as EVD CPMR/2019/02. Thank you.
So I want you to cite that letter and see if it is an approval that was done.
Mr. Chairman, this correspondence was originated from the Center for
Center.
Yes, Chairman.
No, but according to them, approval was given by the board. So, but there must be some evidence to that effect. That is what I wanted to verify.
We are guided, Chairman. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. The next one is paragraph 229, Honorable Sophia.
Thank you, Chairman. Paragraph 229, procurement irregularities, which amounted to 11,910,073. Section 17 of the Public Procurement Act states, among others, that in the performance of its functions, a tender committee shall ensure that at every stage of procurement, activity procedures prescribed in the Act have been followed and also exercise sound judgment in making procurement decisions. 230. Contrary to the above provision, the auditors noted that for the period reviewed, 17 institutions under the ministry in carrying out procurement activities failed to adhere to procedures with regards to procurement of goods and services, totaling this amount. Now, we have the table here with very huge amounts. 17 institutions. We have the National Center for Radiotherapy and Nuclear Medicine, 587,357 single source without approval, medical goods. On and on and on. We have another one, Nursing Training College, Panta, 157,437 single source without approval. We have 1,472,331 use of price quotation method instead of national competitive tendering. Can you tell us why all this and on, I mean, irregularities, all this 17 institutions. How come? Edros, you can take time.
Take it one. The mic.
Can you please explain to us accordingly, one by one?
Honorable Member, this is a procurement irregularity. Various procurement irregularities. They went against the procurement law. Went against the procurement law. So there's a punishment in the public procurement law at CC3, okay, of 2003, and at 9 something. No, the act number of 2016, 914, the amended one, 914, section 51 of the amended acts and section 92 of the principal act prescribe the punishment for breach of the law. I want to look at the 51. Yes, section 92 of the CC3 amended by section 51 of the 914 says that the principal enactment is amended in section 92 by a substitution for, into brackets, 1,000 of, into bracket, 2,500 in line 3 of section 91. 1. B, in addition of a new subsection 3, which says that despite anything to the contrary, in an enactment, a person who contravenes a regulation made under this act is liable on summary conviction to a fine of not more than 2,500 penalty units or to a term of imprisonment not more than 5 years or to both. So the punishment for breach of the law is that you are fined to the tune of not more than 2,000 penalty units, and one penalty unit is 12 cities, 12 Ghana cities. That gives you 30,000. Or to a term of imprisonment not more than 5 years, or to both. Now, this committee do not have the power to prescribe these sanctions or punishment. It is the court that can do. So we are referring all the institutions involved here to court to go and defend themselves. That's the position. So let's move to the next one. Clerk, take note, all of them are going to court. With the exception of sorry, that's a mistake by the auditor. With the exception of Dunkwa, Nursing and Midwifery Training College, they are not part. The remaining 20, not 20 actually, because some of them are a number of, so the remaining 16 because there are 17 institutions. So the remaining 16 institutions are being referred to court for prosecution by the Attorney General. Let's move to the next one, paragraph 232. Paragraph 232, Honorable Ajibwat.
Mr. Chair.
Yes.
Honorable Chair, we have heard your ruling, but I thought that you give them a hearing before you pronounce on the judgment. I believe that...
well, I'm not actually pronouncing the punishment. I don't have that power to do. So the hearing is the defense they'll give in court. So they will go and give that defense in court. If your case is clean, you'll be set free. That is it. Paragraph 232, Honorable Ajibwat.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. 232 is about stores management, and it's in respect of the Abradunga Health Directorate. 233 talks about items purchased amounting to 356,462.66, which were neither supported with stores receipt vouchers as evidence that the items were received to stores, nor any trail to the user departments for verification. So this is a matter of stores, items which were purchased and which were not covered with the SRVs. And the institutions are there. I think the District Health Directorate at DSO, the health facility at Health Center at DSO, on and on until Ifiankwanta. The auditors call for strengthening of the internal controls in respect of management of stores. I think that you started talking about the system earlier in the day. But again, the auditors asked that an amount of 356,462.66 be refunded by the institutions concerned. So, want to find out from you what has been done so far. Are the institutions here, if they can answer to their own infractions?
Honorable Chair, if I can start first with the internal controls of those involved in the Ghana Health Service, that is the DSO. For DSO appears 3 times, and the Ifiankwanta, they've been cleared. But we admit that there were serious challenges, mainly from capacity. As I gave in the initial, we have more than about 7,000 facilities, and some of them are in the communities. Capacity is very low. So as we promised last time, we have developed some basic procurement guidelines to keep some of these managers to be able to manage some of these minor issues. And so those are some of the things we've started doing. We've also started recruiting some procurement officers to assist these districts, especially these rural districts where capacity is very, very low. So it affects the internal controls and the system that they are supposed to do. We are hoping that this guideline will help us train these people at that level and improve the processes that they use during this procurement.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman. But in terms of the specific issues, for instance, District Health Center, DSO, we're talking about 280,000 Ghana cedis, which related to unauthorized issue and unreceipted stores.
So we want to find out, since that the infraction was identified, what has been done?
Yeah, Honorable, it's the same person. There's a summary I brought. I mean, about 60% of the challenges have come from 3 facilities. One of them is the DSO. That's the director who has been removed as a district director, and his technical grade also demoted as punishment for him. But some of the issues have been corrected.
Auditors asked for a refund. They asked for a refund. So if you have not sorted out those infractions, then the effect of it is that the refund has to be made.
I think they have been sorted. There are many control issues, and maybe the Director of Finance can talk about someone, the same person, receiving an issue. So there were no controls around. I think these are the internal control challenges which have been addressed. I believe that the items have been are there.
Can the auditors confirm?
Honorable Chairman, we can confirm that the required stores documentation and processes have been duly followed. Thank you.
Chairman, that would be all for that aspect.
Let's move on to paragraph 236. Honorable Baswa.
Thank you, Chairman. The infraction is captured outstanding rent, which is 472,223, and it has to do with the default in rent payment by 324 government workers from 11 institutions between January 2016 and December 2019. Of which is contrary to Regulation 2 of the Financial Administration Regulations. And according to the auditors, they have recommended for the direct deductions of the rent from their salaries. And also, they have recommended a payment of 472,223.16 from the defaulters. And Mr. Chairman, if you will permit me, I will mention the institutions. Achimota Hospital, 10 staff. Accra Psychiatric Hospital, 30 staff. Shai Osudoku Hospital, 6. Cape Coast Teaching Hospital, 64. Cape Coast Metropolitan Hospital, 53. Center for Plant Medicine Research, 7. Tetequashi Memorial Hospital, 55. Doma East District Hospital, Wamfie, 4. Sergioso Government Hospital, 44. Jaboso Government Hospital, 27. Mpoho, 28. 24. I want to find out if the directives have been carried out.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chair. Apart from Sefioso and Jaboso, all the others have been resolved. and when fear is still ongoing. But I want to use this opportunity to also create some of the challenge, bring about some of the challenges that we are really having. We have health workers posted to rural areas and they don't want to go. So sometimes facilities are forced to provide some incentive that maybe will support you with your rent. And it becomes a major challenge trying to get someone to go to these places where some of the areas may be a village, but because there are some illegal mining going on, the rent is very expensive. And if you really want health workers to go, the districts are really forced to make some adjustment to encourage people to stay. And I believe that these are areas that ministry is working on rural incentive. I think that's one of the areas we are asking for such places, if some exception can be made to entice more people to go and work in these areas. So, but the rest have been absorbed apart from these two areas. But I think it is something that we are appealing that something has to be looked at to give us the opportunity to encourage more people to go to such areas.
Auditors, can you confirm to what he's saying, the payment?
Honorable Chair, in respect of out of the 42,626 cities, 17 pesos, only 1,353.93 has been paid, leaving 41,274.24 outstanding. For Accra Psychiatric, the total amount is 72,958.80, and out of that figure, only 10,718.53 has been paid, leaving 62,240.27 also outstanding.
For Shai Osudoku, the entire amount has been recovered. With respect to the Cape Coast Teaching Hospital, there's an outstanding amount of 2,380. The sum of 6,290 cited for the Cape Coast Metropolitan Hospital is still outstanding. The amount of 7,364 for the Center for Plant Medicine Research, 2,250 is outstanding. With respect to the 55 staff at the Tete Kwashi Memorial Hospital, the entire amount of 25,118 has been recovered. Doma East Hospital, Wamfie, the entire amount of 10,330.8 is outstanding. Sefiri also Government Hospital, the entire amount of 205,374 cedis, 39 pesos is outstanding. For Javiso Government Hospital, there's an outstanding balance of 27,610 to be paid to government. In Poho Health Center, the entire amount of 12,611 has been paid. Thank you.
Give me the figure for Cape Coast Metropolitan Hospital again.
Mr. Chairman, the figure for Cape Coast Metropolitan Hospital is 26,290.
Now tell me whether it has been fully paid or any outstanding.
Mr. Chairman, it is still pending, it's outstanding.
So, what measures are you putting in place, or you've put in place to ensure the payment of the rest?
So, Chairman, so for Achimota Hospital, Cape Coast Metro Hospital, they've all been fully recovered. So maybe we can do the recovered. And in the report that we submitted, we attached an appendix showing the dates on which the monies were recovered with the GCR numbers, so we can reconcile. Joabuso, I think 20,000 is what has been paid, I think, leaving So the figure for Joabuso is also higher than, so maybe that we can also reconcile. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Chairman, I think they have made us know what is outstanding and those that they've been able to retrieve. So I think we are done with them. Thank you.
All right, so auditors, you have to go and we have to do the reconciliation and ensure that the claim that some of them have paid fully, we clear that one before we know what to report on to the plenary. Now we go to the last one for the Ministry of Health, paragraph 240, and that is Honorable Sampson.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and very happy birthday. Mr. Chair, the issue here has to do with the Ashama Polyclinic awarding a contract of 77,093 Ghana cedis with only Registrar General certificate. They did not consider any other requirement in terms of state certificate, tax collection certificate, or VAT registration. But they awarded a contract. The supplier was qualified with only the registration certificate. And when the query was raised, the management agreed that that was the only certificate, and they were only saying that going forward, it will not be repeated. I think this has to do with procurement breach. Because you cannot award a contract with only registered general certificate without other pre-certificate requirements. It's completely not acceptable. And they are saying that going forward, annual pre-qualifications of suppliers and regular pre-audit checks have been instituted to check all that. I think that is not a satisfactory answer. Yeah, so I think that is not an answer that we should meet the query. So we are in your hands. As for me, this is a procurement breach. So my recommendation would actually be the chairman.
Ghana Health Service, do you have anything to say to this? That the procurement officer failed to ensure that pre-qualification requirements are met. Do you have anything to say to the contrary?
Honorable, thank you very much. As we said, we've also identified some challenges with procurement because of the capacity. And that's why we are organizing training for places where there are no procurement officers to manage these issues. But my information is that this has been cleared, and maybe we'll have to reconcile with audit service as to how.
How has it been cleared? How has it been cleared? If there was pre-qualification to the selection process, and that was not met. How can that be corrected? It's like condition precedent, which has not been met, yet you went ahead and awarded a contract. So it's a breach of the law, because the law says that pre-qualify the bids, the people who are bidding, them with what? There must be tax clearance certificate. It means that that company might not be paying tax to government, yet you awarded government contract to that person. SNIT clearance certificate, he might not be paying the SNIT contribution of his workers, yet you awarded him contract. Registrar General certificate, sometimes the company is not even registered at all in Ghana. So these are issues that we cannot. Why should the procurement officer overlook this? So you will go to court to explain to the judge.
Honorable, thank you.
So clerk, take notes. Ashama Polyclinic, paragraph 240, we refer the breach to the Attorney General for prosecution. On that note, we have come to the end of the Ministry of Health and Ghana Health Service. I want to thank Director General, Chief Director, the directors, heads of finance and audit, and the Minister himself for coming. You are discharged.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chair and members. We'll meet again when other agencies come. National Health Insurance.
Honorable members, we are breaking for 1 hour. When we come back, we'll continue with the Ministry of Agric. So the sitting of the House is suspended for 1 hour. Thank you very much.
Ghanaians know that the God factor cannot be taken out of the socio-economic development of Ghana. Ghana mama, mama ye nyame nsinchen, awo ya setena mu ene ye sika sam mu hwehweye ne ne mpuntuo mu se oman. Eye ya sade ase etimi dwene mu bompa ye ma Awurade ba mu. Aglo International nam so to nsafro bibia. The Bible sumi the month of perfection. Ghana di mampa ebo ase. Ya tudi onyame bebe mu. Empire Bosron Queen e Bosro, memne da 16 July, or forecourt of the State House Accra, and upon us on 7 a.m. Team, the Lord will surely comfort Ghana. Isaiah 51 verse 3. Mawa Onia, come and let's decree. So onyame hwehye pe ene begina wo Ghana. Ma ye hyiam wo hode mum kai se e baso e wo forecourt of the State House. Be aglow for Jesus.
Hi, I'm Dr. Ted Spear, pastor of the Fundamental Baptist Church International in Kumasi, Ghana. I'd like to welcome you to join us here on GTV every Saturday morning from 6:30 to 7 a.m. Please join us as we discuss the scriptures each and every Saturday morning. God bless you.
Kings and nations tremble at his voice. All creation rises.
Good morning. It's a good morning, and we serve you breakfast.
Not just any breakfast.
Sizzling healthy.
And there's much more of GTV breakfast.
So what's your pleasure than Votrasia at that time of the morning?
You want it served buffet style, complimentary breakfast?
On-site restaurant.
Or room service?
We've got you covered.
From Monday to Friday at 6 a.m.
With a trusted team.
So never skip breakfast.
On GTV Breakfast.
The Karingu bus takes off again on a trip to sizzle your Saturdays for another stimulating journey across Ghana and Africa. Season 1 was spectacular and Season 2 is equally scintillating. The tour are well prepared for Africa's story in an exciting question and banter. They will best the flag bearer for the platform. Don't let the Caribou bus leave you behind. Join the trip, refresh your memories, and learn a whole lot more.
Oysters are said to be beneficial to mankind in various ways. These include nutrition, construction, and used as fodder for poultry. Today, I'm at Kponkpo, a suburb of Adan in the Greater Accra region, to find out more about this miracle of nature called oysters. I'm going in oyster mining. Oysters are mostly fished from the Volta River and are common at Adan in the Greater Accra region. In Ghana, oysters are either cooked, fried or dried. To many in Ghana, this seafood can best be taken with palm nut soup and other Ghanaian dishes. Safely strapped in my orange life jacket, I joined Emmanuel and his crew of 2 to go oyster mining on the Volta River. Surrounded on both sides by the calm-looking green waters of the Volta River, I looked forward to this exhilarating experience. Dotted on the river were canoes carrying other oyster miners. As we cruised along, we bypassed a number of small villages including Agokpo, Chachukofe, Agota, and Agbeve. As I sat on the hard wooden board serving as seats in the canoe, I kept wondering why Emmanuel and his crew were not in life jackets. I also noticed that the other miners we encountered on our voyage were also not in life jackets, though there has been reports of people losing their lives due to accidents. I inquired from Emmanuel why. The journey from Kponkpo The oyster hub in Adan to the mining point in the middle of the river took about an hour. As a first-timer cruising on the river, I kept praying in my mind for my safety, though I tried to act normal so my host do not see the evidence of fear on my face. Then, an interesting spectacle arrested my attention. To my right was a tired oyster miner taking a nap in his canoe. Wow, I said to myself, this was a typical example of one man's poison being another man's delicacy. Whilst I